How many starting quarterbacks can you name from the Cleveland Browns?
Tim Couch, Detmer, Kelly Holcomb, Spurgeon Wynn, Doug Johnson, I think's on there.
Yep.
Charlie Fry, obviously me, Whedon, Campbell, Manziel, Josh McCown, Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, you're right on the money here.
McCoy, Anderson, RG3, Baker.
Damn, boy.
God, dude, there's a lot. I mean, I'm not even going to get halfway through this.
Welcome to Games with Names, presented by Dunkin. I'm Julian Edelman, they're Jack and Kyler, and we are on a mission to finding the greatest game of all time. We are coming to you from the DUNKIN Nuthouse here in Boston. On today's episode, we are covering the other 28-3 game, Browns versus Titans, Week 5 in the 2014 season with Super Bowl champ, the man who played for 9 different teams, same draft class with me, Brian Hoyer. And we're talking what it's like to watch film with Tom Brady.
The depth at which he would watch film and the things that he would find, it's a lot to take in.
Playing for 9 different teams.
I played in the 3 family trees, the Earhart-Perkins system, the West Coast, the Norv Turner-Air Coryell system.
And pulling off the biggest road comeback in the regular season in NFL history.
Feeling in the locker room after that game, it was like we had won the Super Bowl.
And we're pulling back the curtain on how players on different teams interact on this week's Chill Zone presented by Coors Light. You got to stick around to the end. Let's go. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. October 5th, 2014. LP Field, Nashville, Tennessee.
With 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the first half, the Browns trail the Titans 28-3.
What? But Brian Hoyer is about to turn this massacre into a miracle? This is the OG 28-3. Just like throwing rounds. Great finish. Brian will be here in a few minutes, but first we need to hit the Dunkin' pregame where we fuel up on Dunkin' and make sure we're ready for the interview. I got my nice coffee in here. I got a little iced coffee in here, and this little thing makes it nice and cool.
Jack, how much refresher do you drink?
I am Mr. Refresher. I have been refreshed all week.
Man,
This is, we're in triple digits territory at this point.
triple digits of what?
Refreshers.
Triple digits. That's Hundy?
That's Undy.
We need a donut count. How many donuts have you had this week?
Oh, man.
I've been going kind of easy. I've eaten 3 maples and 2 munchkins, and
That's
one was on those.
On the decathlon?
The decathlon.
Oh, my gosh. The decathlon was...
If we're counting munchkins, I might have a problem here.
I literally have drinking like
we're
7
counting.
cups of coffee a day, though.
Yes.
And then like I'm so tired after our days, and I'm like I get to my bed and I want to fall asleep because of the fucking 800 grams of caffeine that I have. I just sit there like tired in my bed, like, can I go to sleep? My neck hurts. Why is this not working?
Remember when
So if
Brian
you guys need
Hoyer
to get
came
fueled
back?
up, I'm telling you, this shit'll fuel you up. This shit'll fill you up.
I've only had 2 donuts. Don't ask me how many wake-up wraps I've had, though. Jack,
What is a
don't-
wake up
my
wrap?
God.
They have those on there?
Yeah, it's the
Egg, cheese.
the egg and cheese, sausage,
Little
or
bacon in there,
I
bacon.
didn't see those.
Great. Really underrated item.
I'm
there,
gonna go
guys.
get one.
one of my
I'm
favorite.
gonna go get one.
I've been doing jelly, maple, blueberry glaze, pumpkin, all the sprinkles, all chocolate,
lot of
strawberry.
Blueberry
vanilla.
Maine? I like the blueberry donut.
Yeah,
Where they
blueberry's
glaze it.
underrated,
Is
yeah.
it blueberry or is it strawberry?
Blueberry.
It's blueberry,
Had a-
but it's a little
the
hinge
glazed.
of red in there.
I didn't see any red.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I like the blueberry one.
There's a pumpkin one.
I didn't even
daughter
look. I
loves
just
that. She
inhaled.
loves
Tis-
that stuff.
Tis the season.
And then I had the French cruller last night. That was my nightcap. Pretty good.
was the one?
Curler?
Pretty good. The cruller.
I think that's what
Pretty-
Brian Hoyer is if he's a donut.
He's a cruller?
He's French.
He's
Curler.
German.
He's German.
I know, but
Axel
it's
Foley.
it's still the
Cruller
closest
can
thing
get
to
there. Yeah, you could say
Europe.
cruller.
I could
It's
see
like a
that.
European donut.
Best moment so far, or best moment to wrap up the DUNKIN Nuthouse?
Well, I just wanted best moment was that German accent by Matt Light. Speaking of German, how great was that accent? I thought it was like
I liked Matt's dog.
that's
Tech.
a beautiful dog.
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
Some sort of hunting pointer
Has a
situation.
They had the same beard. They had the same beard.
They have the same
They look
beard.
like twins.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's you look like your dog.
Man,
That's what they all say.
that's right.
I guess
You don't start. You end up looking like.
you look at Rocky. I got the same gray
I
hair.
was just
We
gonna
got
say, I
same
can't
gray
wait to
hair.
see you guys looking like twins.
I know.
I think my favorite moment. I'm a Papa Shot fiend.
It's been fun.
I've been getting shots up.
I woke up one morning and there was literally 999 shots taken.
Yep. That was by our boy Matt.
Where?
Downstairs. The Papa Shot. It gets to $9.99.
Where do you see the number?
You can hit a button and turn on the counter mode.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
I just
we've
been shooting.
Yeah, we've just been shooting for the love of the game.
Yeah.
You can keep score on that bad boy.
In the decathlon, so
Only 3 events.
Reigning
Just-
champ triathlon.
I don't know who
doesn't have
let
the
that get
alliteration.
through.
I heard someone put a 12 there, but no one has saw the number. And
I did 12. Yeah.
Who was there?
Billy saw the back half. I was like,
If there was a back half, there wouldn't be 12 seconds.
hold on.
Who was timing?
Hold on. No one was timing. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this decathlon. Jack just did it.
No one's timing. I just went 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3,
Yeah.
1,000.
Putts in. Yeah. It was the first putt that went in. The first basketball went in. And then are you like worried that I'm not going to murder the munchkin in 2 seconds?
1,000%.
So I hit
It's a lot of chewing. There's some chewing involved.
You've been very parched this weekend, and I saw that you had powdered donut around you, and I know you're for a fact you're not swallowing that in under 8 seconds.
It's just a munchkin. And I didn't do munchkin because I scouted. I did a small glaze because I knew that would be faster.
Nah, you
It's the, you know what? If my Dunkin' decathlon time is the same as Deion Sanders 4.2, I'll take it.
I also did a 360 windmill dunk in the driveway basketball hoop.
yeah.
No one saw it, but
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
No one saw that
no
one.
one saw it, but I did it.
It was
Yeah.
a tough look for the Nuthouse crew. I was just looking through the windows, like dazing out, and all the guys were back there. The team was back there shooting shots. 5 minutes before one went in, like Ryan was shirtless, just airballing it. It took Jack like a layup to get like one.
Got to break the seal. Got to get a
Football
layup
guys.
before you hit threes.
The fucking
Tough
football
look.
guys.
That's right. Plus, I had just run my 3-minute mile, so I was pretty gassed.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I set the world record. Me and Meg could
But no one was there. But no one was there.
I feel like
No one was there though, Jack.
Over the years of our relationship, I feel like I've proven myself to be a man of integrity.
You have. I'm just saying. In the Dunkin' decathlon, I got to see the clock. It's the game.
Who was timing?
In my head. It's
In
an
my
estimate.
head?
It's a hand time.
In my head.
But I
so
got-
you just
I-
threw
no
it?
matter the integrity.
It was one putt. It was one putt that sunk right in. It
in
was
my
basketball
head.
right in, and then Dunkin' down. It
In
could have
my
been faster.
head.
It could have been sub 10.
I believe you, but I'm
could've-
just
now
saying.
it could have been sub 10.
It could have been sub 10. I'm being conservative.
Could have
with
been
12
sub
seconds.
I'm just saying.
10.
You are the only one that wasn't either filmed or had witnesses or
I
time.
had witnesses, but Billy's sandbagging.
I'm
me
saying a full
because I've
witness
been
from the start
I've been
to the
a
finish
jerk to
timing.
him this whole trip. I'm
Donut don't
tired.
fit. You must have quit.
And you've been dodging me on sauce toss, by the way. You know,
I'm
I'm not gonna
supposed
throw
to
like
be
I know
doing
that
all
one.
this
oh,
shit.
excuses. Here's the excuses.
I mean, I did go set the record at the decathlon when I'm not supposed to be doing this.
What'd you
thing.
get?
Young Wayne Gretzky with the wristers.
I don't know. I don't know, 16 or something.
Oh, okay.
Reigning
there-
champ.
Now
Reigning
we
champ.
know why.
That's on
Here
film.
we go.
That's on film.
Here
and
we
everyone was
go.
there.
I will say though.
Everyone was there.
All right. I was 32. I'm not going to front like I was the winner. 32.
Everyone was there. But it's been great.
Let's go. Let's toss it to Brian Hoyer. It's a great interview.
Great interview. Let's go. Welcome to Games with Names. Today we have a very special guest to go over a very special game. One of the specialist games in the history of my life. We're going over the 28-3 game with Brian Hoyer. Brian, in one sentence, why did you pick the 28-3 game when you know we already did it 5 times?
Well, I don't think it's the same 28-3 game you're thinking of. I think
what
it's
are you
my
talking-
own 28-3 comeback. We did it first in Cleveland, largest road comeback in NFL history. I thought, no, they didn't tell you.
Oh, I didn't read it.
Yeah.
I didn't read it. This is
We
the
each
other.
have one. We each have one
The
without each
other
other.
28-3 game, Browns versus Texans in Week 5 of 2014. There was another 28-3 game. What the
The OG.
fuck, Jackie?
The OG.
Hey, I
Browns Titans.
had to show you guys the way.
All right, in one sentence, why this game?
Look, for me personally, this was probably one of the greatest moments of my career. I know it's not going to be the greatest game of all time, but to come back to 28-3, and oddly enough, as I'm sitting there watching you guys, I'm like, I know they could do it. I know someone who's done it before, and I had a lot of faith in you guys coming back from that because I had done it before, and like I said, just one of the biggest moments personally for me. I had so many moments with you guys, but I wasn't out on the field, and so for me, that was pretty amazing. The feeling in the locker room after that game was, I mean, there's clips of me doing I don't know what kind of dancing. It was like we had won the Super Bowl.
That's not dancing, Hoy.
It wasn't too bad.
Movement.
Yeah, movement.
Movement.
For a white guy, I mean, it was okay.
Did you actually think of this game during the Super Bowl 51?
Yeah, I was thinking of this driving over here, and I can't remember who it was, but at halftime, someone had texted me and was like, "What do you think? Do they have a shot?" And I was like, well, first of all, of course they have a shot. I know the guys over there. I know Bill Belichick. I know Tom. I know the Julians, the Dolas, like the people in that locker room. But in my mind, I was like, man, if the Cleveland Browns can do it, I know that these guys can do it. Now, obviously, a much bigger stage.
Yeah.
But I was like, the only thing is the time. You know, how much time are you going to have? Because I forget what it was in the Super Bowl, but in this game, we cut it to 28-10 right before half. And so that was huge. And then we came out and the first play of the second half, we got the ball and we ran a boot double move, Taylor Gabriel on my boy J-Mac.
We'll jump into that.
Yeah. So it was for me probably as a player, one of my biggest moments being on the field.
So this isn't the greatest game of all time?
No. I think the other 28-3 is probably the greatest game of all time.
You think the other 28-3? This game or the other one?
No, yours. Not mine.
Ours.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
I came back for the next year, remember?
The next year.
Yeah, so I only have the 28-3. That would have been pretty sweet to be on two teams to do that. But I would say, was that 51, Super Bowl 51?
51.
That, to me, was incredible. But also, I believe your first Super Bowl against Seattle.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing because it was just two heavyweights just slugging it out, and who was gonna finish last. And obviously Malcolm's interception was. I was in a hotel room. We were on vacation in Florida, and my kids had fallen asleep in the bed. And when Malcolm picked that off, I jumped up because I had so many friends on that team.
Of course you did. Tom did the same thing.
Yeah,
and you were usually known to do the exact same things as Tom.
That's right. And look, we're going to get into that too, because no one got more shit of their relationship with Tom than you and I.
Oh, always.
But I think it was a pretty wise decision.
Hey, you want to hang around and act like the people that are at the best of anything.
That's right. That's right.
And I mean, that's what I always tell young people. Young football players, when I go and speak to schools, I go, you look for the studs.
That's right.
On the team that have been doing it for a long time, and you go fucking copy them.
That's right.
And that's what I did, and people want to and you did it too.
Oh man, I mean, Rawitz, I'm sure he'll watch this. He used to mock me because, first of all, Tom would give me hand-me-downs. Look, I'm young in the league. I'm undrafted. I don't have any money. I'm getting like zany.
Yeah, right. Oh, you wouldn't bought the same car.
I couldn't.
You had the same bag.
When I
Rookie
came
year,
undrafted. When I came back in 2017, I had a little more money, so I could do it. But when I was young, remember Tom would come in and just put stuff in the locker room.
Yeah.
And one day he came in and he had some like nice Xenia dress shoes. I was like, take those, an extra Toomey bag.
So you guys have the same size foot?
Yeah, we do. 13.
13.
Yeah. And
big socks.
Yeah.
I mean, Jules has a closet full of UGG slippers.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still to this day have stuff that's unworn just because it would just be a huge box in the locker room, and it would just, for the taking.
That's honestly one of the things you miss the most when you're out of the league.
Yeah.
The free shit you get in the locker room. I mean, batteries, headphones, video games, systems,
Everything.
Fucking boom boxes. You get golf bags.
That's right.
I wanted a golf bag. I got a golf bag. It's freaking crazy. Now, what's life been like lately for you, Hoy?
Look, a little bit like you, not on this grand stage, but kind of venturing into the media, do a few things here locally, NBC Sports Boston.
Why are you guys laughing?
The grand
stage, baby.
of the Nuthouse.
Oh man,
I think you're talking about
this. Is
making us feel big time. I love it.
We David and I
Talk
started.
about Fox.
Yeah, well, Fox. I mean, that's huge, dude.
Fox.
I watch you on
Baby.
Sundays.
Kickoff Saturday morning.
Let's go.
Sunday mornings.
Uncle
8
Terry,
o'clock.
we love you.
9 o'clock. Uncle Terry.
But yeah, I mean, look, I wanted to not do anything too much my first year out because I wanted to be around for my kids. I mean, my son's playing football for the last time last year.
6'1".
6'1", 156. We're working in the weight room. He's going to be way more athletic, way bigger than me. We're trying to turn him into a Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's the film he's watching. He's not watching his dad. He's not watching TB. We're trying to be a dual threat.
Well, first off, you got to get that out of your head. You got to watch your dad's film. This is a great
When you see him tomorrow night, you just let him know, okay?
No, because you used honestly. I remember this game. I don't remember this game, but I remember this era of football.
Yep.
When you went on like a really good run, and I used to always have your back because we used to have our relationship
That's right.
and scout team. And Hoy used to throw one of the fucking most catchable balls. I don't care what anyone says. He always threw a really catchable ball, like the centrifugal force of it and like how it was. It just was always right there. And you always knew the offense. So if your son wants to be a baller in the run game, but you still want to be able to digest offense. Like
I teach him that. I try to tell him there's more to playing quarterback than throwing the football. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing.
Operationally, you got to copy you.
That's why I told him last year. I said, look, this is your first year playing quarterback in tackle football. This is not flag football. Like I want you to be able to set the huddle, command the huddle presence, call the play, get to the line of scrimmage, take the snap, and then after that, like you're learning. It's a learning process, and you're going to do it. So,
you got to tell them, personnel groups.
That's right.
Call the play, communicate the play, get to the line of scrimmage, make sure everyone is fucking set.
Yep.
You got to look at the front.
Yep.
You look at the coverage. You look at your own guys. You take your pre-snap read. You take your post-snap read, and you look. You keep your eyes on those goddamn safeties because those corners lie all the fucking time.
That's right, buddy. Look, this is what made you so great was your understanding because you played quarterback, right? And we had an early connection. I remember back to those days at the Residence Inn. We'd have walkthroughs. I know you had Ornberger on here, and we would go into that. We'd move all the furniture out, and we'd literally do mock huddle. I'd call the play. We'd break. Rich would get up there. I'd make the mic point. You'd run the route and
walk through route.
Yeah, we'd walk through the route, and honestly, I think it was a huge reason I made the team. I don't know how you felt, but
you were a huge. Yeah, definitely. I mean.
Just that
studying.
Yeah.
We used to study together all the time. Like the flashcards when we played in college, like it was like one personnel group.
That's
get to, New England, there's 15 personnel groups. So you have to like remember where you change on everything.
Yep.
And then the formations and then all the concepts. And so for guys like us, undrafted 7th round, like you couldn't afford to fuck up a rep.
That's right.
Like, or you thought you were getting cut.
Yeah.
And there were so little reps for us that like it was a Super Bowl anytime you got a rep in practice when the big dogs were watching.
That's right.
And
I remember being in there like late OTAs and all of a sudden out of nowhere, Bill puts me in with the first team offense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, Moss,
Ben
Watson, Welker. Like all these guys, and I'm like, don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
And I remember we ran like a shake route, and I hit Ben Watson up the seam, and I was like, all right. And you almost forget like you got to go to the next play, but you were like, that was kind of a welcome to the NFL moment. Here I am, undrafted, working my way up, and out of nowhere, it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
You're in there with the big dogs.
Yeah, I know it's 1,000. And well, people forget. You know who the quarterback Hoy beat out to be the backup? Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah,
head coach of the Vikings.
KOC, he's doing a tremendous job.
How about him?
He's done an amazing job. I don't know how much. I mean, clearly with Fox, you're probably staying up on this, but just seeing the behind the scenes interaction he has with his team, like that's the type of coach you want to play for.
He was always like that. He was always. I remember because we used to hang out, me, him, Slate, Wendy.
Yep.
You would come in there, but it was still a little weird with the backup. You guys, you know what I mean. So I had different groups.
Yep.
And he was always really great at like the camaraderie of the group,
which is so important.
And the mental toughness. I don't know how it was in your guys' room, but like he knew he wasn't better than you. I remember, I don't know if he thought, I saw it, but I don't think there was any like animosity between you guys. And that takes a lot. And that's shown in his coaching that, that mental toughness to do what's best for the team.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy that he just got rid of Sam Darnold, who had 14 wins.
I know. And that's a lot of belief in
that's
JJ
mental
McCarthy.
toughness.
That is mental toughness.
That's mental toughness, believing what's best for the team.
That's right.
What he thinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it was Kevin was great, and thankfully we still have a good relationship and talk from time to time. But quarterback room's unique. Only one guy gets to play. You know what I mean? I think it's probably the one room where things can be really tight and really good, or there's times where it can be a little friction. You know what I mean? And you try to just handle it the best way you can. I'm a non-confrontational person by heart. So I always want to make sure I get along with the people in the room and do the best you can to do that.
No, I always explain to people what I think the role of the backup quarterback is. And I always bring it to you.
Yep.
Like when Hoyer was a backup quarterback for Tom, like it's not just, okay, you got to be ready to play. It's like a shoulder for Tom to lean on, a guy that he can talk to with his problems. Like it's a whole different dynamic. It's like you have to put so many different caps on as a backup quarterback. He's got to get the scout team going. He's got to make sure that the coaches are given the quarterback. Like there's so many communication levels. Can you explain that dynamic of a backup quarterback?
I mean, I look at my time backing Tom up in two separate eras, really, because the first 3 to 4 years I was just learning. I mean, I look back now, Jules, and you mentioned beating out Kevin O'Connell. Like that was the year after Tom come back from this huge ACL injury. There was no way I was ready to play.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I look back at like how little I knew, where I was fundamentally. My fundamentals weren't very good. And, just by good performance, I ended up being the backup. But those first 3 to 4 years, I didn't really do much for Tom. I mean, I was just learning, just soaking it all in. And, it was more like just be ready to play and don't get in his way.
Yeah.
But then, I go off, I play a lot of football, different teams, learn about myself as a player, get better, and then came back in 2017. And I felt like I actually could provide some assistance to him. Like, hey, when I was playing in San Francisco, we ran this play. Or, I really learned about zone coverage from Kyle Shanahan. Like, this is how that Seattle 3 is trying to play. And we had a different relationship at that point, which was great. But you're right. Like at that point, he was a little bit older. Remember, I was practicing almost every Wednesday, sometimes Thursdays, which was great for me because I got the reps. And that made me really believe that I'd be ready to play if I had to. But it was a different role then. It was less like mentor learning. It was more like I'm here with him and I'm helping with ideas. He's coming over the sideline. What'd you see on that play? I didn't really get asked that a lot, first 3 years of my career from him.
It reminds me a lot. Like with that situation, it's like a head coach that gets fired that becomes a DC OC on a team.
Yep.
It's so great for that head coach that hires him to be able to bounce ideas off each other because he has experience of running the ship. Mm-hmm. He knows through his experience of different situations, which you had that experience as a starting quarterback that you could say, hey, Tom, when we played him like this, that's just such a huge help for a quarterback. Information is gold. And that's what you were when I saw you as a backup. You had great information. Whenever there was like those Wednesday, Thursday practices that Tom, if he didn't want to, if he, he was getting that whatever, like the offense still clicked. We could still get work done. It wasn't like it was we couldn't get the play call. No. We couldn't get the right throw. Like
and early on, I don't know if you remember this, but there was an instant, probably like first, second year, Moss was still there. So it had to be first season. And it was late in November, early December. It was cold as shit. The wind was howling. We were in a stadium practice and Tom had to take the day off.
That was the playoff game.
So this is the first, I know what you're talking about. That's when he fucked his thumb up.
Yeah.
But this is like our rookie year. And Tom had to take the day off. He was nursing an injury, whatever it was. And I went out there. I probably completed 50% of the passes. And we pull up the team meeting after practice, and Bill's like, "Where's Hoyer?" And I'm kind of lingering in the back. I walk forward. He's like, "How do you expect our team to have a good practice when you come out here and completely suck it off?" And I was like, oh shit. But it was literally like one of those practices where you went to throw a go ball and the wind just carried it out of bounds.
Yeah.
And it was not my finest moment, but that was probably one of the first times I ever had to step in for Tom. But to your point, you go back, and now I come back in 2017. That was what I had been accustomed to. I've been a starter in 3 different places, so I knew what it was like to go out and have a good practice and make sure the team kept running, which, it was great work for me. It was great for Tom to get the rest he needed, the recovery. And to your point, I never wanted practice to take a step down.
Yeah, you can't. Was it the most Bill ever gave you something? Was that like the biggest one?
I mean, there was a few in those low light meetings. There was the one, remember Tom broke his middle finger messing around with Isaiah Stanback before the Miami game our rookie year.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way this dude's playing, like broken middle finger. But, there was Alex working on it, and he ended up playing. We lost down in Miami. He threw for like 350 yards. And so the next day I was doing
Miami.
I know. I was doing an event at Reebok, like a charity event. And some reporter was there. It was like, hey, we saw Tom's was on the injury report. Like, did you think you were going to have to play? And I basically said, like, look, like Tom's as tough as they come. I knew he was going to be ready to go, blah, blah, blah. The next day in meetings, Bill's like, why don't you just let Tom speak for himself and you just worry about yourself? Like, you don't need to, are you in his body? Do you know how his finger felt? And so, I mean, you learn real quick.
I mean, Hoyer, if anyone would be in Tom's body,
no,
it would be
I don't
Hoyer.
know.
It would be Hoyer.
Hey, I don't know. Look, I didn't follow him out to California.
That's called a business decision.
Hey,
That's
I
a
already
business
said.
decision.
Look, there's not two people more who followed Tom around more than you and I. And like I said, I think it was a wise. We played
1000%.
forever. I learned so much and was able to implement it when I played, which is why I played as long as I did. You became, his go-to receiver, the guy he trusted, Super Bowl MVP. So those were wise business decisions. Yeah. People can hate on us all they want, but I think the resumes speak for themselves. And to your point, when you're an aspiring athlete, you find someone who's doing it the right way. And luckily for us, it wasn't just Tom. We had guys like Matt Light, who I know you had in here, Kevin Falk, Brewski. Yeah. I mean, so many guys that we could watch as young players and say, that's the right way to do it.
1000%. Now, what's it like watching film with Tom? What did you take from watching film in the quarterback room with Tom Brady that you took on when you became a starter, or that you used when you were a backup, or anything? How was film session with Tom Brady?
It's amazing how he sees film. You know what I mean? And as a young player, you come in and I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this film. I'm going to watch like the offensive plays. Like, no, he's watching for techniques of corners. He's like, all right, the star's inside. That's giving me the read that it's going to be cover 2. Now he's outside. It's going to probably be cover 3. I mean, the depth of which he would watch film and the things that he would find, like I said, to me, that first time I backed him up was learning mode. And so then when I went out and had an opportunity to be a starter of my own, it gave me a good foundation of how I wanted my routine to be. Okay, I know early in the week, he's just going to watch a bunch of games. And then when it gets to Wednesday, he's getting to cut-ups of early downs. And then Wednesday night, it's third down. You're breaking it down. It's a lot to take in. And then the other thing too, I remember as a rookie, I forget who we were playing. I'm like, I'm going to watch this game. He's like, don't waste your time with that. Their offense is absolutely different from ours. Like the way that the Ravens played them is going to be totally different. You got to find teams that run a similar system to us or similar play calls.
What does Scarnecchio say?
Do business as business is being done.
Fellas, it's the same cars, just different license plates.
That's right. Yeah. But it's funny, for me, growing up in our system, in our offense, and then the first time I went out, I played for Kyle Shanahan. Completely different.
Completely Explain different. The differences between the Charlie Weiss system that evolved to the McDaniels, Billy O, whatever you want to call it, and the West Coast system that came from Bill Walsh and his running stance, Shanahan and all that shit.
We could turn this into a 4-hour show if we wanted to. But honestly, the one thing that was unique about my career was I played in the 3 family trees. There's the Earhart-Perkins system. There's the West Coast, the Bill Walsh. And then there's the North Turner, kind of the Air Coryell system. And I got a taste of them all. But the thing about the Patriots system, it really put the onus on the players. Right? They taught you how to react. They taught you how to think for yourselves. And you went out there and we had alerts, we had audibles, we had change the protection,
changing
routes, all of these things. Whereas the West Coast is really, you talk about they're the same, same license plates, they're just changing the number. Like it's a lot of the same plays, but they dress them up a lot of different ways. Motions, shifts,
personnel groups.
Yeah, try to make the defense communicate late, but really run the same plays. And so, to me, I had a lot of success in Kyle's system because it was a lot of run, play action, quick game, empty, things that I was really good at. And to me, if I ever become a coach, which is probably not going to happen, blending those two systems together, if you can do it, because it takes a certain skill set of offensive line to run that outside zone, as opposed to like our system where you're really true drop back protection guys, bigger guys who have to keep the pocket clean. Like to me, melding those two things together, which I think Kevin O'Connell has done a little bit in Minnesota. When I watch him, you see a little bit of that together. I think it's a great idea. But yeah, I learned a lot from being in all those different trees.
Well, what makes Shanahan such a good coach?
Kyle is so meticulous in game planning. I mean, he literally locks himself in his office and he watches film and he's coming up with a script. I mean, it was
first
pretty
15
interesting.
Always?
First 15 always, but this is, and I always gave him
What is the first 15?
So first 15 come up with plays that really are going to work, and you're trying to script the game out. And this is where Kyle, I thought, was really good. By breaking down film, knowing tendencies, all of those things, he would come up with 15 plays to really get the team off to a fast start. We talk about fast start. And when you think about it, it's kind of a great idea to really script it and try to go in with your team knowing what's going to happen. Now, we didn't always do that in New England.
We had a group.
Right.
There's the first 15, which all the West Coast do. We had a group of like 8 to 10 plays that we would pull from according to what they were doing on defense. Right. So we had smoke screens to see and feel how they were going to play us for a few while for the first drive or two.
Yep. Yeah. So Kyle would script those, and the thing with Kyle is he's obsessed with the run game. That was one thing I noticed. Like, this guy's given 45, 50-minute run game meetings as the head coach of the 49ers. Yeah. And you realize that's where the basis of that offense comes from. Where I would say with New England, it's precision passing, really good drop back protection. And then our run game really varied from week to week. Like, we're going to run gap this week, or we're going to run lead, or whatever. But like that West Coast system, everything is built off of outside zone. Then you come to inside zone. You might have a few power plays, but the play actions, the boots that came off of that, which I've always been a good thrower of the football on the run, which really suited for me in this game we're going to talk about.
Wow. Now, what's the key to developing a quarterback in the National Football League?
It's funny. You asked like what I'm doing now. I do Sirius XM radio on Thursdays with Solomon Wilcots.
And Quick Snaps.
Everyone and the Quick Snap, yeah, with David Andrews. But he has a great term for quarterbacks in development. He's like, they got to grow in the right garden. And I think now more than ever, we're seeing guys like Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, guys who
Resurgence.
And when you look at their careers, they weren't always in the best situation or garden, right? And I think a lot of the quarterback position is about being in the right place at the right time and having the people around you, not just the players, but the coaches, the foundation. And I think sometimes young quarterbacks, especially if you're drafted high, you're not going to the best team. And now all of a sudden, maybe those coaches, there's a lot of turnover, and it's not really, a good situation to develop a quarterback. And so, like, I look at a guy like Josh Allen. I mean, early on, people weren't really sure what it was going to be, and now he's become, in my opinion, probably the best quarterback in the NFL just by work, repetition, continuity, and it's not always an exact science. I think you got to have the right people around the guy.
Now, is Drake Maye in the right garden?
Now he is. I believe he is.
So there's a lot of Miracle Grow. Is that McDaniel's Miracle Grow?
You know Josh probably even better than I do. I mean, I spent a lot of time with him, but you play with him a lot longer. Josh is probably the best play caller I've ever been around, who sees the players he has and builds the offense to suit their strengths. And so I think that year off and spending some time with some college offenses, going out and really reevaluating, and now you get paired with Drake Maye. He's never had a quarterback like this, a guy that he can run some RPOs, some zone reads. So I think, look, you're never going to see that in the preseason.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see, especially a little revenge game for Josh, right? Opening game against the Raiders. And from by all accounts, and like I said, I'm more tied into local, covering the Patriots here. This kid's a pretty special kid.
Is he?
I think.
What makes him special?
I look at his attitude, and I think he's kind of got an attitude where it's like, nothing's going to faze me. Like, if I make a mistake, I move on to the next one, which is huge for a young quarterback to have that.
Short memory.
And he made a lot of mistakes last year, but he also made a lot of plays that made you look and say, wow, like, if he can really eliminate the mistakes and keep progressing, which I think having Josh McDaniels in there, you know how meticulous Josh is. He's not going to let bad football persist.
Now,
so
what's it like watching film with Josh?
We didn't always watch a ton of film with Josh. It was when we were in there with Josh, it was really going over the reads. It was really going over protections. So I guess there was a part of film, but it was really specific. Like, hey, this week, the blitz package, we got to nail this. And remember, we'd have those blitz meetings, we'd have those blitz pickup. But really watching the film was pretty quick with Josh. I think that was a big part of it, was he knew that Tom and I were doing that on our own. And we kind of knew how to handle that. And so we had limited time with him. So it was like, hey, here's the run game. These are the mic points. That was a big thing because that changed from week to week. But I'll say this, Josh's notes that we would get, and I'm pretty sure you guys would get them too. If there was ever a coach where they said, look, you have to come in on Sunday and you haven't watched any film, you haven't practiced, but you have these notes, I could play a game. Yeah. I mean, that's how meticulous and how narrowed down it was.
Like what? Explain that. How?
So we would get these notes every. Yeah, I mean, not a cheat. It was kind of like, this is how we want to win the game. Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, it is. and it would be the keys to the game, players we want to make sure we handle, and then it would get down to like the reads,
impact players.
I mean, you know this, and you only played for New England, so that's all you know. I played for a lot of other organizations, and I'd be like, that's it? This is all you're giving us? That's all? That's Friday practice is 45, 50 minutes? Yeah. And you would go in being like, man, I hope it works out. And I don't think we ever felt like that here. We always felt like we were going to win the game because our coaches prepared us. We had a really good week of practice. And like I said, with Josh, just every day you'd get this packet and I'd go through and I'd highlight the things that I thought were really meaningful to me. And honestly, they would break down the coverages percentage, the blitz percentage. You'd go into the game thinking, all right, it's 3rd and 2 to 5. I know it's either going to be some kind of man or they're going to play cover 2. That's really it. Yeah. I mean, they may try to change it up and play cover 3, but based off of the research we've done, like you kind of know what they're going to do.
Yeah, percentages.
Yep. It was all about percentages. I think some other teams, it's more about, let's just worry about us. Don't worry about the defense. I don't think you can play football that way.
And that was who we always kind of struggled with, was people that would change it up completely on us.
Yeah.
Like when they would give us, they do corners over and then jump out into a 3C, and which corners over, you're usually playing man coverage. Right. It's like, all right, but everyone knew that we had all these formation indicators. So by the end, they're like, fuck that. We're going to bring our corners over there and play zone. Remember,
but think
Indy?
Is that Indy? Indy, but also think about the Super Bowl against the Rams. Remember, we game planned for 2 weeks based off of Wade Phillips' defense. We get to the game and they're doing exactly, because they knew you were a big indicator of what they were going to do. If we put you in slot, they weren't going to let you block the down safety, right? So we'd motion you over. They'd put the safety the other way. And honestly, one of the greatest team moments on offense, at least, was basically scrapping the entire 2-week game plan. And Josh coming over, remember, he's like, look, we got to put basically 13 personnel in the game if we want to get Julian the ball. Because whenever they put James White or Rex in the game, they're playing nickel defense and we can't really do it. So we have that long drive. They put Gronk, DA,
we spread
Devlin.
them out.
We spread them out. We're hitting you on Haas Juke.
And then you hit Devlin one.
That's right.
You hit Gronk down the seam.
Yep.
We ran the same play like 10 times.
But I think about that moment, and here it is. It's the culmination of an entire season. You've had 2 weeks to prepare for a Super Bowl, and you get to the sideline and basically say, look, if we want to win this game, we got to throw out everything out. We got to come up with a little package. And that was, oddly enough, that was the drive to win the game.
And that's when you see if you have good coaches, is when things aren't going right, they can come up with something and give an answer right away. And I felt like our coaches always did that.
Yep.
You got any Ernie stories? Ernie nuggets?
I mean, I love Ernie, and Ernie coming in and trying to teach us how to throw a football was always pretty interesting.
Can you explain this?
I mean, I remember being in the room and Ernie, like it would be like a special session with Ernie, and he'd have film of like Joe Montana throwing back in the 80s. And I'm looking at Tom. I'm like, this is the greatest passer of all time. Like literally, I mean, obviously I've played in a lot of places, but talk about a guy who was so particular about fundamentals each year, like working with Tom House, working with Coach Martinez. Like I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy throws the football better than anyone.
This guy, Tom Brady.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and Ernie's showing him film of Joe Montana and how to throw the football, which, by the way, throwing has changed a lot over the years. Yeah. Like the way I learned to throw a football is so different than really what I believe in how you throw a football now. And it was just always funny to me.
What's the difference?
Well, to me now, back in the day when I learned, it was more like throw it like a baseball.
Yeah.
Like really stride, bring that back right leg through. Now I actually relate it more to hitting a baseball.
It's like jumping.
Aaron does the jump. I think a lot of guys are really trying to get the disassociation of your hips and your shoulder. And you really want to rotate through the ball by keeping a strong front side, as opposed to when my first quarterback coach used to tell me to elbow the midget. Did anyone ever teach you that?
Little person, but yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's how I was taught. It wasn't my terminology.
I go little person.
But now it's more keep a strong front side, come to it. It's pretty interesting. But I always, in my mind, I'm thinking, what's Tom thinking with Ernie trying to show him Joe Montana film on how to throw a football?
So Ernie clearly annoyed Tom sometimes, right? With the Ernie cards?
Oh my God, the Ernie cards were, I remember he'll come in and look today, because I would run the scout team. He's like, we got the cross country special. I saw this guy ran it at Montana State in 1992. And it'd be like a triple reverse, pitch it back to the quarterback. And honestly, I think we can say this. We always would say with Josh, like, hey, we got a caddy today. You on the bag? Because we wouldn't know the cards, and sometimes Josh would get a sneak peek of the cards, and it'd be like this exotic overload pressure, Ernie and Bill just trying to fuck us in protection, and we would just say like, hey Josh, we don't need to know what it is, but just tell us something crazy's coming.
Yeah. So you guys were cheating on the Ernie cards.
I don't think it's cheating. We weren't told what it was. We didn't see the card. It was more like
You may have saw the card.
like no. I promise you, Josh would never do that. But it was like we would say like, hey, Larry on the bag. Like be the caddy today. Like Ernie's got the cards. We don't know what it is, and just make sure that it just doesn't completely derail practice. That was honestly what it could do. And same thing for the defense. Like you'd be playing a team, and we get a card, and I'd be like, God, Ernie, I've never seen this play ever before. And he's like, look, I promise they did it. This guy was at South Missouri State. Like, I mean, you talk about research. And I don't think he was lying. I think he really would just scour for that. I think he would. And
look for hours.
There was some times McCourty was so pissed. He'd be like, why are you throwing the ball so deep? I'm like, look, Dev, I'm just telling you this. Come look at the cards. This is what Ernie wants. You know, he's like, it's Thursday. We've already ran a ton. Like, why are you throwing it deep on every play? I'm like, this is what Ernie's calling for, okay?
Did you ever see one of those Ernie cards that proved him right? Did we ever get a nugget from one of those crazy exotic cards that like, oh shit, it actually happened? Do you remember that? Did it happen once?
I don't know about the crazy exotics. I mean, there was going back to that Rams Super Bowl. I spent a lot of time with Ernie, the defensive staff, Bill, that week because McVay's system was very similar to Kyle's system, and I've told this story before. And I remember sitting there in Atlanta, like on our off day, and I saw like an article, and it was like inside Rams training camp. And it was like an Amazon series they did. And I was like, let me watch this. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and they had McVay mic'd up and he's calling the plays. I'm like, well, this is the exact same. So I kind of would give him notes and nuggets, and Ernie, we would script, go over cards. And I'd be like, Ernie, they're not, I promise you, that's not how they're teaching it. Like on the slide of the boot, he's going to go in the inside shoulder. And when you go to the Super Bowl and you're not playing in the game, sometimes you feel a little left out. And so to feel like I contributed in some way that week made me feel like I actually earned my ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you did. You always, dude, get out of here. You earned your part of it.
Yeah.
Now, so they were pretty collaborative on when people had information.
Especially like for me, like I said, I left and came back.
This whole thing, they're not were they collaborative?
Oh yeah. I mean, Ernie and Bill, even Bill would ask, I mean, you'll love this story. This was 2018. I'm in the quarterback room with Josh and Tom and whoever else was in. I think it was Danny Etling. And Bill comes in. He's like, "Hey, Hoy, let me talk to you." I'm like, "Oh shit, you never want that." And he's like, "Look, like we might be signing Josh Gordon. Like, what do you play with him in Cleveland?" Which I thought was pretty cool. Like here he is. He's trying to get inside. Bill was always like that.
Yeah,
he was always wanting to get information, whether he thought it was good, bad, and different.
He wanted to hear your opinion.
He wanted to hear an opinion, and he was, I think he took opinions from a lot of people. I remember one time we were practicing against you guys. I was in Chicago. We came to practice against you guys, and I hadn't seen Bill since he cut me in 2012. So this is 2016. I have not seen him since.
4 years.
And here it is after practice, and I'm walking down the tunnel to go to the visitors' locker room, and here comes Bill, and I'm like, all right, here we go. I don't know what this is going to be. And of course, he butters you up. Hey, Brian, you were great out there today. Like, great throw on that in cut. Hey, look, like you played with Clowney last year. Like, what would you say? Like, they're trying to trade him to us. And like after the conversation, I was like, he totally manipulated me to give like a full scouting report on Clowney after the last conversation I had with this guy was him cutting me in 2012.
Well, you clearly gave him some bad information because we never had Clowney.
Well, I was just being honest.
Oh, what'd you we got Josh Gordon, so you must have been buttering him up.
Clowney, I'm not saying anything poor about him, but it was like one of those things where I knew he wasn't going to be a fit for New England. Mm-hmm. You know what that
especially
type of fit
DNs
is.
When DNs come into Bill's system, DNs hate going to Bill's system.
Well,
because it's not always about rushing the quarterback.
And if you think about it, who was the head coach in Houston at the time was Bill O'Brien, and if Bill O'Brien was trying to get rid of him, it probably wasn't going to be a good fit. This guy was a physical freak, but it wasn't anything poor. It was more like, Bill, honestly, I don't think it would be a good fit here.
Yeah.
Now, Josh Gordon, I mean, you play with Josh. Like, this guy was incredibly talented. And for a while, I mean, amazing run here, right?
Yeah. He made some plays for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
Chicago, remember that in-cut in Chicago?
In-cut in Chicago.
Yep.
I mean, he had like a few, we won a Super Bowl that year because of his contribution.
That's right.
And that Chicago game was him and CP.
That's right, CP.
Him and
One
CP.
of my favorite teammates of all time.
One of the best teammates all time.
Just a great guy.
Now, you played for 8 different teams. Did this happen a lot when coaches regale you for information from other schemes?
So you're going to laugh at this too. I would go to other places and they would ask. And anytime I would bring up something about New England, they would kind of scoff at it. It was like they didn't want to hear ideas from New England. But if I gave it like, hey, with North Turner, I learned this or we did this, they would be really excited about it. I think there was just, people hated us. I mean, I really think it's as simple as that. People were, first of all, it's very complicated. So when I would get in and be like, yeah, in protection, we're miking, and then the line, they were like, that's just too much. Or if it was pass routes with alerts, like, hey, if it's man coverage, why don't we just alert and give this guy a two-way go? They're like, that's too much. But it was funny when I would go to places and I'd be like, I learned this with Kyle Shanahan, or I learned this from North Turner. People would really perk up. But if I was like, yeah, in New England, we would do this, it was kind of like, I mean, we're not going to do that.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. I mean,
so when I went to Indy the one year, Nick Sirianni, who's the head coach, I got him to install the read it route.
The read it.
And he was like, they do what? And I was like, I'm just telling you, it's the most innovative thing I've ever seen in the past game.
What's the read it route?
Well, you probably did it better than any other person, but basically you know you have man coverage, and we're giving you 53 yards to work. We're going to send two guys deep outside to clear out the corners. We know that the safety's single high, he's deep, and Jules did it better than anybody because of his stem. He would stem in, he'd get vertical, and then you had a great feeling for where the DB was, which, look, I've never played receiver, but I got to feel like that's a pretty hard thing to do without looking at him, right? And you would have a two-way go, either back out to the corner or across on a deep crossing route. And I'm just telling you, like, for a quarterback to know what the coverage is and know that you have a guy who has that route, you just drop back and almost, in a way, you're not taught this as a quarterback. You would watch the rush.
Yeah.
Because I would just need to know where I need to buy time because we knew you guys were going to win the route.
Yeah.
It's honestly one of the most innovative things in my 15-year career that I ever witnessed.
The read it
route. And
so
Jules
you
did
can
it.
run a cross. So you always see the guys run the cross routes, right? The cross routes where you go in 6, you go up to 12, and then you put your foot in, get over to 24.
Yep.
Well, you run that cross route 7 times in one game. These guys start undercutting you.
That's right.
So this gives you the ability, when they see that cross route for the third time, they undercut, you can bop out to the out. Yep. And you can hit the flag, or you can hit a bow on them. And so if you watch in like the Super Bowl, which is one of the first times we ever installed it, right?
Yeah. I mean, in every
with
Super
Roby.
Bowl. Yeah. In every Super Bowl that we played in.
We didn't have it for the first 2.
That's right.
We had it for the last one because every Super Bowl I had, we'd run these crosses, and then these guys start running the routes. They're studying you too.
Yep.
And so when we put this thing in where we'd have everyone run the same thing, and I'd run that cross 2 times, and then on the last one I'd bop it out back, and guys you'd be open by 30 yards.
I mean, it looked so ridiculous when you read it right, and the corner, like, if honestly more so when the corner went to undercut and you felt it and you went back out.
Yeah.
There was, I mean, you can't get that wide open in the NFL.
How do you as a quarterback read what he's going to be doing?
The one thing that I learned, because this was like, to your point, this was not part of the offense my first 4 years.
Yeah.
It was when I came back in 2017, and the first one I ever saw ran was actually by Cookie against, I think it was against the Steelers from the outside. That was Beaver, right?
Beaver.
And so we could run it from the inside or the outside. And the one thing as a quarterback, it's really goes against everything you ever do. Because like I said, you know you're going to have extra protection. So that's what Josh is great at, right? Like, I'm going to chip and slam because I know I have a deeper route.
Chip and slam, what is that?
So running back, hitting the defensive end, coming down.
Help. All right.
Help. There you go. And slam by the tight end. But for quarterback, you would almost watch the rush to make sure you knew you were safe, because he's going to have time to go and work this route. And you didn't want to throw this with anticipation. You wanted to see him break out of the route and then throw it, because honestly, you knew if he ran the route the right way, he was going to be open by 10 yards. So you didn't have to anticipate it all.
Which is insane in the NFL.
Yeah,
They're just reacting to what he's actually doing.
Dude,
it's like backyard football almost.
You know the clips of Tom where he's just sitting there like this, which no other quarterback does, right? It's because he knew all I got to do is let Julian win or Dola win or Cookie win or whatever it is. And then I'm just going to throw it. He's going to be so wide open. I don't really have to worry about it. Everything's cleared out. We're clearing out the entire, it really turned the game into one-on-one.
It was 1-on-1, 7-on-7.
Yeah.
Is that why you ate at Super Bowl 53?
That was, on
we hit
Talib,
that
you
route
had
like
one.
4 times.
Yeah.
That was Roby, Talib.
Yep.
We did a Beaver. We did a Read It.
Yep.
And then you could stem those up with your under routes, because all that 6-yard stem when you're going in, they don't know if you're going to go there or you're going to go up.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about McDaniel's offense, you got to make everything married up because there's a rhyme and reason and a counter for everything.
And Jules, you were pretty unique as far as I think you had the most leeway running your routes than any, because Josh is very strict.
Very strict.
You have to release this way, you have to get leverage. But because you had an understanding of, like we talked about before, being a former quarterback, coverage and all these things, like you, of all the receivers that I ever played with there, had the most leeway on your release, your stem, all of those things.
And I think that was because me and Tom.
Yeah, because you worked a lot.
But I remember when we'd be installing those plays on Wednesday, you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Tom he'd be over in his back and he'd get his little water bottle just like that. And he's got his fucking great old man cross. And he'd look back and go, hey, Jules, it's you and me, babe.
Yeah.
You and me, babe. I got it.
Yep.
Because he goes, if it shows to go here, there's like 4 other ways.
Yep.
And he'd be like, don't go behind the linebacker.
Yeah.
That's what McDaniel's.
Yeah.
And if you're on the same page, if you do it right and you complete it, they can't say shit.
That's right.
And so we did so many of those, he couldn't say shit.
Well, it's like, what were you on New Heights when you were telling the story about when you weren't supposed to throw to Philly?
Oh, the double pass.
This guy took it to the edge, and for the majority of the time, he was right. So you really couldn't say anything to him. But
that's a true story.
that is a true story. Yeah.
The night before on that one where I hit the throwback.
Yeah.
Were you ever wrong in a big moment with something like that?
I mean, you would know better than me. I don't recall ever like, hey, Julian went renegade and it didn't work out.
Nah, yeah, it was Maverick, dog.
You're dangerous, Maverick.
Yeah, I mean, dude, so everyone knows that play, what it's supposed to look like. It's the throwback to Sweet Feet for that long.
Explain it.
Yeah, I mean,
that whole thing.
We would
that
set
night.
this play up, and you hit it. Like we would do the walkthrough with the little lacrosse ball, and you, of course, the mischievous guy you are, like go to throw it to Phil, and Josh, like, don't you fucking dare, dude.
It literally, don't you fucking dare, dude.
Yeah, and I can only imagine Josh's heart rate when you threw that football, and it worked out. I mean, look, Jules, there's athletes and there's football players and there's people who understand the game, and credit that to your background. You had a football awareness, like some guys who maybe were more talented didn't have. You know what I mean? Like that awareness goes a long way when you're out there and shit's flying around and you can feel the game.
Yeah. All right. What do you say, typing over there?
What?
Oh, okay.
I'm just giving you notes.
Oh,
The thing
shit.
you do every show. We've done 140.
I know. I didn't know what to do when Hoy over here he's buttering me up.
Hey man, dude, look,
Buttering me up.
Mind games, bro. He's Bill
it's pretty
Belichicking you.
funny. Like I'm sitting here thinking like where we came from.
They wouldn't realize.
We flew
99s, baby. 99.
This is
when did we first meet?
2009. That would have been like April, May 2009.
But
and
when?
So,
Where?
So I'm getting there. So first of all, I don't get drafted. And
But
I'm gonna tell you,
you didn't get drafted.
I need to give a little bit of background here, okay?
Okay.
So I don't get drafted. I'm like similar to like what am I gonna do with my life? Like I banked on everything and my agent's like, go to New England. He's like, look, they drafted another quarterback, but I don't think he's really gonna be I'm like, they drafted a quarterback? I had no idea. Yeah. So you were probably in Kent when that happened, right? Yeah. And I was in Cleveland, and so we go to get on the plane.
To go to minicamp.
We go to minicamp. We land at Logan. My first time to New England, I don't know where. I'm like, where the fuck's Foxborough? We're landing in Boston. We were down at and now every time I go into that baggage claim, that's what I think of is me and you. I think you had a tucked in shirt with some khakis on.
Yeah.
Like coming in business.
My agent said, hey, if they're going to hire you, you got to come in looking like you're
my agent
going for a job interview.
My agent sent me a packet on Bill Belichick's history. He's like, read this on the plane, know about this. Like, you grew up in Cleveland. You better know about his time as a coach there. So, like, we were prepped pretty well. But that was our first meeting. So that would have been like April of 2009. And then because we were where we were, we got so much work together.
We did.
We would go extra in the bubble and throw after practice.
We would see Welker and Tom throw extra. And so like, hey, you want to go do some extra? We would just copy them.
We never wanted to leave the field until they left the field. And so it's pretty wild here. 17 years later that we're sitting here doing this, and
I used to get so fucking mad. I do the exact same thing that Welker would do.
oh my god, it was incredible.
Explain.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, I remember that it was the old jiggle route. That was what I remember this
Fucking
happening
jiggle.
on. There was a route where you talk about a two-way go. You could go up, you stem in, go. But if the guy was undercutting you could bounce back out.
Or you could sit.
You could sit. It was a lot of things to do.
I played quarterback 6
But
months before.
basically, like I would be there, and Tom would throw to Welker, and Welker would run the route, and then I would step up, and you'd step up, and we do the same thing. And literally, I would watch, and you would take like the exact steps, like in, up, run the route, and he'd be like, Jules, you can't. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, I don't know what I'm missing here because that looked exactly the same. But I think that
he was training me.
Dude, he was. And to me, one of the greatest leadership qualities I saw from Tom, he knew who he could push. You, Gronk, he knew who he didn't. He like, if I push this guy too hard, he's going to break.
Yeah.
And so he rode you hard because he knew you could take it. And I think he saw, that there was going to be this relationship down the line. But he was, so hard on you. So, I remember Gronk coming in. We would practice a full 2-hour practice. And be like, Gronk, come on, let's go run seams for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, how is this guy even running at this point?
Yeah, you got to break them in.
Yep.
You got to drag them through the dirt, make them stick like mud, boys.
right.
You got to drag them through the dirt so they stick like mud.
So you guys were both brought into the Patriots in 2009 as quarterbacks. When did you realize he wasn't a threat?
As soon as, he never played quarterback. He never, immediately.
I didn't take snaps, though, I think.
I think you did.
That rookie camp.
Yeah, it was, remember who our center was for that rookie camp?
Who?
It was Brian Ferentz. He was a
Brian
coach.
Ferentz, yeah, our coach.
He was a coach, but he had played.
OC now, right?
Yeah,
Iowa?
I don't know if he's there anymore.
Oh.
But he was a coach on the team, but we didn't have enough linemen there, so he was the center.
Yeah.
He was the center for that mini camp.
Do you remember how hard that mini camp was?
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Dude,
they
we
ran
were-
us to death.
One of the greatest stories from that mini camp, and I told this on Billy O's podcast, which, by the way, listening to him on yours I was literally crying in tears. But that first night before the first practice, we had probably been there since 7 a.m. You do physicals, you got a team meeting, you got all the, and I'm sitting there going over the offense for the next day with Billy O. And I think this was planned. I still can't get it out of him whether it was planned or not. And Billy had just got done telling me how our offense goes from the passing strength to the weak side. So like we call gun spread right, 66 Utah, toga. That's how we'd call the play. So he's like, all right.
Strength, Utah on the front,
Yep.
toga.
That's our
Comeback
backside
seam.
So he's like, all right, let me go grab a cup of coffee. So he walks out, and 2 minutes later, Bill walks in. He's like, look, like, how's this going? You got it down? I'm like, he's like, are we going to be able to like complete some passes tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good. He's like, all right, just so you know, like everything in this offense is from the weak side to the strong side. So this would be like spread right, toga, Utah. And I'm looking at him like, I don't know if this is like a test, like I'm supposed to go against what he's saying. And I was like, all right, coach, yeah, got it. So then Billy O walks back in. I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do tomorrow because you're telling me this, the head coach is telling me this. And I think it was like, they're like, let's see, if this guy's got any shit to him. Is he gonna correct Bill Belichick on the first day? Which I didn't.
Look at these fucking, they're just always playing fucking Jedi mind tricks
That's
and
right.
shit. I mean, goddamn. You know him. You love him. The big guy with the red tie is back in the all-new Donkey Kong Bonanza game on Nintendo Switch 2 system.
In this brand new DK adventure, he's teaming up with talented singer Pauline as they explore a wild underground world.
He can punch through walls, carve tunnels, and rip up chunks of terrain on his non-stop quest for golden bananas.
Unleash your inner Kong in Donkey Kong Bonanza, available now. Rated 10 and up, only on Nintendo Switch 2. Game and system sold separately.
Let's go back into time where this game took place. This game took place on October 5th, 2014, and go over some pop culture. Gone Girl was the #1 movie in the theaters. That's Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, shout out.
That's a scary one.
I love that movie. Great book.
A little scary.
You didn't like it?
I liked it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
those thrillers get me. I don't like, because you get kids and stuff.
Yeah. And it's kind of, it could really happen type thing.
Yeah.
It's not like
I
one
don't
of
like
these,
that.
I know.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
#1 song, All About the Bass. It's all about
that bass.
Lily
about
still
that
loves
bass.
that
That was
Show
my
trouble.
daughter. I have a video of her dancing to that when she was, was turning 1 on October 15th, 2014. So she just started standing up and she's dancing to that song. So
We were the Super Bowl champs, New
right.
England. Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. Ohio State won the Natty, and Marcus Mariota was the Heisman. Oh, A-Rod, how do we think he's going to do this year?
I think it's a good pairing. I mean, of one of my 9 teams, I was in Pittsburgh after I got cut in 2012 with Tomlin. I really like Tomlin as a coach. I mean, it was a short stint. But
are they going to protect him? They got line? I mean, we've been talking. I've been in TV for 5 years. I feel like we talk about Steelers line every year.
But is it the line or is it the quarterback?
We're going to find out.
But I'm saying, like, you have a guy who understands to get the ball out. He's got a quick release. Like, you know this better than anyone. Like, you can't be a quarterback in the NFL and just be like, I'm just going to drop back and go through. Like, you have to have an understanding of where you want to go with the football before the ball snapped. And you can adjust, but you can't hang on to the football.
You can't. And you also have to have a play caller that can, if you're struggling at line, that can set these things up.
Yeah.
Tell us about your sports fandom in Ohio growing up.
I mean, it was a lot of heartbreak moments.
Ohio State. Were you a Ohio State fan?
So I wasn't. I didn't grow up watching really any collegiate sports. As you mentioned downstairs before, my real name is Axel.
Axel Foley.
My dad's from Germany, so he never really played football. We loved the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
But we weren't like.
Is that why you and Seabass used to like be
That's
really
right.
in like?
Yeah, I always tried
close,
to work my German with him.
and then you guys would always kind of pick on me.
I mean, look, we had a great rookie class.
We did.
We
We
really
had
a lot of great guys, but no, we didn't have any like collegiate allegiances probably because of that. Now, when I started to get recruited, I always was cheering for Ohio State because I was from Ohio, but they didn't want me, so I ended up at Michigan State. But it was heartbreaking as a 10-year-old kid to have your team leave, right? Cleveland leaves, they go to Baltimore, don't have a football team. So, but the Indians were pretty good until they got to the World Series and lost.
Yeah.
Which was heartbreaking. The Cavs were never really good, but we were always hoping for LeBron. And they ended up getting him. Yeah.
That was crazy when we were there. Now, Peyton broke Brett Favre's career touchdown record with 509. Game-winning drive, Peyton or Brett? Who you going?
For a game-winning drive, I'm probably going with Peyton.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just cerebral, understanding, all of those things. Now, you're going to talk about throwing a football.
Brett Favre.
Unbelievable.
He could whip that thing.
Oh, my God.
I remember, who was it, was telling us when he was in college where he would throw these balls and he would overthrow the receivers so bad. Over at, where'd he go? He went to
Southern Miss.
Southern Miss. Yeah. There was a wall in the back of the thing
just dents in it,
and you just hear whoop. He would throw it and it would go like 40 yards and it would hit that thing, and that's all you heard from Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And he was warming up for games.
I grew up, and that was like you talk about your team that you root for leaves. Now you're just rooting for players. So like Favre, Elway, Deion Sanders was one of my favorite players. Love Deion.
All right, let's jump into the game, Jackie. Let's break down these Tennessee Titans.
Should we get on the Titans here real quick?
Okay.
These were the Ken Wisenhunt-led Titans. The first year of the Ken Wisenhunt era, 2-14. Not the best Titans team ever. First full season after losing their longtime owner, Bud Adams there. Finished with 10 straight losses. Taylor Lewan's rookie season. Okay. Shout out busting with the boys.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal offense and defensive rankings. 15.9 points a game average for the offense. Letting up 27.4 a game for the defense. This is 29th and 30th ranked. Not great. Let's get into some of these dudes. QB room. We're talking QBs today. Zach Mettenberger, Charlie Whitehurst, Jordan Palmer.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He played that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Who else did he play a lot for?
San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah, man, he was around.
Delaney Walker.
Delaney Walker, another
used to
busting
be
with the boys'
Clipboard
friend.
Jesus, right?
Huh?
Clipboard Jesus.
That's what he just
that was
said.
his nickname. Yeah.
Not a bad nickname.
I was rewatching this, getting ready for this, and he had like the long ponytail just like hanging out in the back. It's pretty sick.
You guys ever look at like the other quarterbacks with the clipboards? Is there any like swag? Oh, he wore this, he did this.
Contrary to belief, like I never held a clipboard. Like in the NFL, maybe if you're in high school, I don't know, but in the NFL, you go back to like what your role is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that you would be on the field, so you wouldn't remember this, but I would always be like 30 yards past the offense because I'm trying to, I know the play and I want to make sure that I'm seeing the defense. So that way, when we come over to the sideline, like, hey, on, crunch stalk, it was cover 3. Like the guy got deep. Good job taking the underneath route. Like I was really
talking through with the quarterback.
Talking through it. And the one thing that always I had to be on alert for was if Tom's helmet wasn't working or if Josh wasn't hitting the button, which was not great because I'd be so far away. I'd be sprinting down the sideline like, Josh, you got to hit the button. He's not getting the call. Like there's a lot of other things than charting plays. Like when we first got there, Brian Belichick charted the plays. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He'd be next to me. I'd get the play in my helmet. He'd write it down. So, yeah, I think that's kind of
so they can go for it right. They can go over the game right after the game.
Afterwards, it's right there.
or on the sideline.
Or on the sideline.
We get the pictures. Okay, he's got the play written down. I'm confirming the coverage as the play's going on. Also, like I'm playing the game mentally, like because you never know. You go in at a moment's notice.
You know what's going on.
You can know, like Bill would always say, the game will declare itself. All right, it's the scouting reports holding true. They're playing a lot of cover 1 and a little bit of cover 2. So if I go in, I know what to expect.
1,000%. Now, when you were preparing for this Titans team, what do you remember preparing for?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, like this was kind of when I was playing for the Browns, and this was like, we're going to do what we do. I don't remember a lot of the preparation for other teams. It was more like know the offense and go out and execute it. So, like I'm looking at this right now, J Mac was a good corner. So we always had to be weary of him, which obviously
You hit that long one on him.
we did, but there was
That's a great stack.
There was a critical play in this game when I was rewatching yesterday, and I kind of vaguely remembered it. We ran kind of an option route with Andrew Hawkins.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to sit down, and he kind of sat and then went, and I threw it.
Yeah.
And it went to J Mac. It hit him right in the chest. Thankfully, there was defensive holding on that play, so it got taken back. Because if he picks that ball off because of our miscommunication, the game's over.
Yeah. Decisive.
That's
you gotta
right.
be decisive. And
Decisive.
once you plant them, you just stay. Let's go over those Cleveland Browns.
Let's
Jackie.
get on these Browns, baby.
go.
These were the 7-9 Browns. Mike Pettin led all-star coaching staff here. Star-studded some names you guys will know at home. Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniel was a wide receivers coach. Aaron Glenn was a DB's coach.
Yep.
And then assistant DB coach Bobby Babbage. And the notable rookie this year that kind of hung over everything was Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel. Picked there toward the end of the first round. Josh Gordon, we talked about Josh a little bit earlier this episode, suspended for a majority of this season, coming off that huge 2013 year.
Can you talk about that 2013 year with Josh Gordon? It's kind of like lore in like NFL.
It's wild because to be able to have the season he had with basically the tumultuous season that the Browns had. So I started off 2013 year as the third quarterback. Brandon Weeden was a starter, and Josh was suspended the first 3 games of that season. And so in week 3, Weeden, I believe, hurts his thumb. And I walk in, and like I said, I was the third quarterback. I wasn't expecting to like get the start. And I walk in, and Rob Chazinski, Chud, who's now at BC with Billy O, he's like, I'm going to let you start this game. And I was like, okay. So I kind of leapfrogged Jason Campbell, J-Cam, great dude, and handled it so professionally. And we go up, and it's Josh's first week back. And so Norv Turner, what he's known for is throw the ball deep in cuts. He's like, we're going to throw the ball to Josh Gordon a lot. And sure enough, we did. He had a long touchdown on a double move, hit some big in cuts, some pop passes, and then went on the next 3 weeks. And then I tore my ACL.
Yeah, you were balling though.
Yeah, it was
How many?
exciting.
You had a wing streak, didn't you?
We won 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday Night Football, tore my
your-
ACL. And but Josh was, I mean, the next game against Cincinnati, a few big plays, same thing the following week. And it was just a quarterback rotation. And through all of that, what was it? The receiving record for most yards in a season, I think at the time?
he had 1,600
in 13 games.
Yeah.
like 9 touchdowns.
He's a freak, dude. I mean, it was like literally, we actually came and played you guys that year. You guys came back and beat us, remember?
We beat you on the 2-point conversion.
That was the first trip I made.
That's a great game.
That was a great game. It was the first trip I made with the team since tearing my ACL because I came to see Alex. Yeah. And I was like, I brought my trainer from the Browns, and I was like, I want to make sure we incorporate this into my rehab. And remember, Gordon, he just threw a simple slant and just pulled away from Talib.
Yeah.
But you guys, of course.
We came back. We were down like.
It was crazy.
We were down
You scored
14.
2 touchdowns in the last like 3 minutes.
I think it was like 2.
Yeah. It
that
was
game
wild.
is definitely on our list of games.
Yeah, that's
I
mean, that's
And
probably,
I always credit that game for our 28-3.
yeah.
Like I remember specifically remembering that game.
Yeah.
And then we played the Saints that year, and we beat them in the last play of the game.
that's right.
Like
Jason Campbell.
I was thinking of all this shit.
Yeah.
During like the halftime, like we could do this, man. We could fucking do this.
Of course. And that was the game where Gronk got taken with the Browns game.
Yeah. Take him out.
Yeah. But no, Josh was, I mean, this season he was suspended the first 10 games of the year, so he wasn't at this game.
Jeez.
I still draft Josh Gordon on the hope that that season might happen in fantasy football. You never know. You just never know.
You saw him. He was
a beast.
He was a beast.
I got a weird one for you, Brian. We mentioned Brandon Whedon earlier.
Yeah.
Was it weird playing with him as like a 30-year-old rookie?
Yeah, I mean, he was so chill, dude. It was like he really had still like that baseball mentality.
I feel that.
Like, all right, boys, here we go. Like, you know how we would call plays like gun trips right, 64, Z option, OPEC. Like, what he'd be like, all right, gun trips right, 64, Cavalier, boot. All right, let's go, boy. Like, it was just like one of those things. And I was like, man, this is so different from what I'm used to.
Exactly.
But he could sling it. I mean,
Heck
there was
yeah.
no doubt about that. He could throw the shit out of the ball.
Now, take us through getting signed and playing for the Browns. This is your hometown team, bro. Did you have like everyone at all your games?
That was wild. I mean, I'm sure like you, when you were a kid growing up, you probably wanted to play for the 49ers.
Niners.
And so for me, like this was like a full circle moment. Like I grew up idolizing Bernie Kosar. Now all of a sudden I'm signing the team and he's calling me on the phone the night after the game, like, hey, great job on that high-low on the, it was like surreal. But it's interesting. Like, I don't think people understand the expectation level that is expected of us as players. Like I don't have any free time.
Yeah.
And so people were like, hey, come do this, come do that. Can you, and you're like, I'm just trying to figure out how to beat the Titans. Like I barely have enough time for my wife and kids.
Yeah. I'm so glad I didn't play for my hometown team.
Yeah.
Because you probably would have been hassled all the time.
I basically just sent out a message and I'm like, look, we get 4 tickets a game. Anything after that, like I'll try to do my best, but like it's not coming out of my paycheck. Even at this point, I hadn't really hit like a quote unquote big contract.
Yeah.
Like I'm basically playing on minimums.
Explain to us this QB room with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Johnny football.
Look, I think a lot's been made about this. And to me, there was never like an issue or animosity between me and Johnny. Like if anything, I was more frustrated with the organization and the way it wasn't Johnny's fault that the Browns drafted him.
Yeah.
And look, he came in and I wouldn't say we were best friends, but we weren't like, remember I talked about before, like quarterback rooms, like there wasn't a lot of tension in the room.
Yeah.
Especially because I was a starter and we had some packages for Johnny. There was actually the one play where I actually threw the ball to Johnny. It got called back for like an illegal formation or whatever, but we never had like any, bad blood or anything like that.
But how are you feeling when they go and spend the number
I was
one
pissed.
or a first round,
Yeah, I was not happy at all. I mean,
because you guys were 6-3 at this time, right?
Yeah.
But in this season, and
yeah. Look, the Browns are an interesting organization, and the owner, and at the time, now this came out, you can fact check this, like the GM was texting coaches during the game, like, hey, do this, do that. A lot of it had to do with like, we should play Johnny at this point. And so when Pettin actually brought me in to tell me that they were going to bench me and play Johnny, he's like, this is a battle I've been fighting for a long time. Like we've wanted to have you be the quarterback, and it's just at this point we have to move in this direction.
So do you think this owner was the guy who pulled the trigger on Shador?
I don't know. That's an interesting one, because it's like you would think you'd learn from like past mistakes, but I think there's probably a part where like you just can't help yourself either. You know what I mean?
Tickets.
Browns gonna brown.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty incredible, because at least they made the smart decision and went with Flacco, right?
Yeah.
For this year.
1,000%. Who are some of the fun guys on this team?
Yeah, we had some great teammates here. I'm just looking. Joe Thomas, obviously Hall of Famer.
Joe T.
Not just like a great player, but just like a dude. He'd be like a guy for dudes on dudes. Just like,
Oh, heck yeah.
come in, do his business.
We had a little beef once on TV.
Did you?
Really?
Not really, but it was.
When he was commentating?
I was doing the thing after a game once.
Yeah.
Where you go on the set, and he was saying something, and Steve was right next to me. Steve Smith.
Yeah.
And he was saying something about running the football. I just looked at him like, what are you telling us about how we supposed to win, dog?
Yeah.
I looked at him like, really? But then Steve jumped and he goes, get him, Jules, get him.
There you go, yeah.
I didn't know if that was just Joe.
Jules
He
has
was-
like 6 players he's got beefs with. We'll never have a show of.
I got beef with all of them too then.
You would like him. I mean,
I would love him.
the one thing you got to realize about Joe, he was like a first ballot Hall of Famer on a team that never won.
I know, I feel bad for him.
Imagine going into your job every day knowing you're the best at your position and you're probably not going to do well.
No.
Like your team.
He's like a sweet dude, though.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
just tell he's like a sweet man.
Yeah. Wisconsin.
Like a great guy.
yeah.
Probably freaking nice. Probably always had the young guys at his house.
Hosted a great Halloween party.
Yeah.
Like he was honestly like, when you think of a team, you don't want like your leader to be an offensive lineman, but just because they kind of do the dirty work.
Yeah.
But he was the leader of that organization for a long time, and he took that role on. Like people would look to him to give the pre-practice, post-practice, pre-game speeches, and he embraced that role, which is why he was such a good player. But also, I look at our little receiver group right there. We had some fast dudes: Travis Benjamin,
Gabriel.
so fast, Taylor Gabriel, Andrew Hawkins.
Benjamin.
Hawk was, I think,
He played with us for like a
little
camp.
bit, right? Jordan Cameron, phenomenal tight end.
I remember I texted you when you were balling out with him. I
Yeah.
was like, what's up with this dude? You like him?
Well, I was gonna say, like, I tried to push for you to be a part of this team that year.
Tell him and explain the story.
So I think this was the year where they had signed Dola, right?
They signed Dola.
And you were pissed, and you called me up. You're like, tell fucking Cleveland I'll come. They just just tell them I need an extra $100,000 over what New England's. And so I went straight to like Kyle, to the head coach. I'm like, Edelman wants to come here. Like, we got to make this happen. But you probably, that was probably when you took the visit to the Jets and they got a little worried. Giants got a little worried up here. They re-signed you. And look at you guys.
What was this, 14?
Yeah,
no,
14.
15. This was 15. Yeah, I took the Niners. I went to the Niners.
Okay.
I sat down with Harbaugh.
Yep.
And I just recently saw Harbaugh. And
Yeah.
we did the exact same thing that we did when we met that day. We just threw a dip in and we just talked about absolutely nothing other than football. Like, nothing to do with like the scheme or anything, just like life.
Yeah.
What kind of dip was he doing?
He was a Zin guy, but he did take some of my Copenhagen once I showed him that I had some mint in
There
California.
you go.
You know,
You got
it's
restricted
flavor,
flavors, right?
you know?
Yeah.
Oh, you had that contraband.
You know, I bring that bootleg. I got a bootlegger.
Hey,
No,
the
but
plug.
that was funny because I remember you calling me.
I was
and
so bad.
We would text and stay in touch, but I'm like, he's calling me. This must be something. And you're like, fucking, they're lowballing me. They just signed Dola. Like, tell them I'll come. I was
That
like,
was 13 then.
Just an extra
so whatever
100K
it
to
was.
live in Cleveland? Come on, man.
Yeah, but
Well, it was.
Spite
This was
free.
for
It's
the
the Spite-
1
yeah,
year
the Spite
deal that
100.
I made.
It was-
And
yeah,
I was,
okay,
I was
1 year,
super
okay.
hurt.
yeah.
All right.
I've been grinding my balls off doing everything they say, and then they just fucking go sign someone else to just do everything that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But that's fucking NFL.
That's
That's
when
that
you became
happens to
good
everyone.
friends, so that's life
That's
lesson.
right. That's right.
1000%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you and Dola, like thick as thieves.
We
now.
were thick as thieves before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
No, Jordan Cameron was a phenomenal tight end. He was like a true receiving tight end.
Yeah.
Like you didn't want him to block, power or whatever, but he had some great catches in this game. Let's see who else. Joe Hayden, great guy, just like full of energy. Jim Leonard, who's now become a really good coach. Jordan Poyer went on to be, with those vaunted Buffalo Bills defenses. He was there.
Safeties.
Yeah.
Him and Hyde.
Yep.
Micah Hyde.
We had a good team. I mean, we fell short at the end of the year, but we probably overperformed for a while. The big one, Alex Mack was our center, and
The best. He's probably one of the best centers of all time.
and we
People don't realize that.
Yeah, and
Kurt's
in,
one of my best friend's roommate in college.
in that
Really? I
system,
didn't know that.
everything ran through the center in that system. And then a few weeks later after this, he got hurt. He was out for the year, and we just never could rebound from that.
The Browns can draft linemen now.
Yeah, no doubt.
They've drafted some great linemen.
Quarterbacks?
How many quarterbacks?
I'm on that jersey of
Yeah, the
like
jersey-
I don't-
the
the
meme.
jersey with every
Pull it up.
quarterback name is wild.
How many starting quarterbacks can you name from the Cleveland Browns?
Holy shit. It starts with Tim Couch, right?
I believe so.
It's
Let
like
me see
Tim
here.
Couch, Detmer, Kelly Holcomb, Spurgeon Wynn.
Oh, you're right on the money here.
I'm trying to go back in time. Was
Bernie Kosar?
Well, no, he's not on. It's when the Browns restarted.
Oh,
That's when they
restart
started
Browns,
it.
restart
yeah, like
Browns.
expansion Browns. Doug Johnson, I think's on there.
Yep.
Charlie Fry.
C. Fry.
Yeah,
Shout
that's
out.
your guy, right? Who else? Obviously me. I'm just gonna go with the era that I was there. Me, Whedon, Campbell, Manziel, Josh McCown, Jacoby Brissett.
Damn, boy.
God, dude, there's a lot. I mean, I'm not even gonna get halfway.
You want me to hit a
through.
couple in here?
No, let him keep going.
Yeah,
This
let me
is
see-
great
let me keep
TikTok
going.
content here, people.
What was the guy, the quarterback from USC that played there for a long time? I can't remember his name.
USC.
Yeah, he played for a while.
Not Matt
there.
Leinart.
No, McCoy. He was there for a while. Anderson.
He was good. He lit it up there.
He took him to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he disappeared. He went to Arizona, But he
He's
threw
there.
for like 5,000.
He was in Carolina. He was in Buffalo for
big
a little
guy.
bit. He's a huge dude. God, now I'm losing track. Well, since then, RG3, Baker, which that's wild. I mean, you talk about a miss. I mean, to me, Baker's on the borderline of starting to become a top 5 quarterback. I mean, when you look at there was a thing I saw, and you already got on me about fact checking Instagram, but they basically put side by side stats, him and Mahomes. Now Mahomes has won it, but when you go by stats, Baker actually has the edge over. I think it's like the last 2 or 3 years or something. Which is
but
wild.
the last 2 or 3 years of it has been the most magic for Patrick Mahomes because he hasn't had the receivers.
That's true. No, I'm not saying he's
been
better than Mahomes.
No, I know, but
like if you're the Browns, you totally botched that one.
Yeah, dude, that was.
It's all about that garden you're growing in.
That's right. That's right.
Take it as far as you
Give
can.
me a few more.
I can drop you.
Okay. Oh God, Tyrod.
Jeff Garcia, I love Jeff.
Garcia. That's right.
Oh my,
Both
Trent
McCown's.
Dilfer.
Both McCown. So I got 2 for that one. Dilfer, Brady Quinn, how do I forget him? Gradkowski,
Seneca Wallace. We had the same
Seneca,
agent.
Jacoby
Thad
Brissett.
Lewis. Yeah, I said
Thad.
Jacoby.
Yeah.
Winston, Zappy, Driscoll. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Connor Shaw.
Connor Shaw. Connor was a baller, dude. He was.
Billy Zappi?
I'll tell a funny story about Connor. So he had played for the old ball coach down at South Carolina, Spurrier. And he played a voicemail for us one day during training camp. He's like, "Hey, Connor, I know all the hypes about Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, but just remind him Connor Shaw could play football now too." And it was just like hearing Spurrier's voice leave this voice message was so
What a great
cool.
coach.
Yeah.
What a great coach, man. I never had. I wish I had a coach that would send me a nice little message like that.
Yeah.
He's probably out on the
Maybe come on
practice
my
field, shirt
podcast.
off, visor on.
Did we touch some of these like all-time college quarterbacks? Brady Quinn, Ken Dorsey, Colt McCoy.
Yep. Case Keenum,
Seneca Wallace,
Seneca,
Iowa State.
Flacco,
PJ Walker,
PJ Walker.
Jeff Driscoll, Jameis Winston, and
So how
Bailey
many is that
Zappi.
total?
I think it says it's 40.
40 since they came back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how many years have they been back since? What 90?
99, I
6?
think. No,
9.
they left in 95.
They left in 95 with Bill, and they went to the Ravens.
25-ish years.
And the
We gotta do the
Baltimore
jersey
Colts
meme. We gotta
became
show the
these
meme.
guys,
And
right?
you might add a couple this year too.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean,
might add
there it
3
is
this
right
year.
there. I got crossed off the list. That was like they were halfway there at that point. Isn't that crazy?
That is all, man. This could be its own episode. Just
Did you ever think this staff would produce that many good coaches, though?
Oh yeah, I mean, I knew. I mean,
It's crazy. Some of these shitty teams that have these crazy staffs that go on to be great coaches everywhere else.
yeah. No, Kyle, I knew right off the get go. He was a good coach. Aaron Glenn, like just the type of guy you're like, this guy's a former player. He gets it, high energy. Like it doesn't shock me at all that he's become the coach that he has. Bobby Babbage, who was just a young, like
Was my coach at Kent State.
he was.
Bobby Babbage was my
There you go.
he was the GA
Yeah.
at Kent. when
Yeah,
I
so he was
there.
basically, this is probably his next step up.
DC of the Browns or Bears now.
Yeah, and so, and who else was on that staff that we saw? Pettin, I always thought was a great coach. He had been a good defensive coordinator for the Bills. Funny enough, so that game I tore my ACL on in 2013 was against the Bills.
Yeah.
Like a few weeks later, I get a card at work, and it was from Mike Pettin, not knowing that he was going to be the head coach there next year. He's like, "Hey, hope for a great recovery. You were tough to prepare for. You're a great player. You'll bounce back." And so, like when I saw him now, he's the head coach. I'm like, dude, this is pretty cool. Like a coach, an opposing coach, to send a letter. Mike McDaniel. Mike was young back then. He was the receiver coach. Obviously, became a head coach. So, I mean, there's 3 current NFL head coaches,
And
right
there's
there.
coordinators too.
Yep, and coordinators.
Jeez.
Should we dive into this game real quick?
Take us into the game.
All right, we know the story of this one. The other 28-3, the OG 28-3. First off, we get this thing started. You got to have the deficit before you can have the comeback. So in the first 2 drives of the game, that Tennessee has the ball, 2 straight scoring drives.
Like Gene
Locker
is
to
the ref.
right, Locker on an 11-yard keeper. It's 14-0. Cleveland tacks on a field goal. Moving into the second quarter, here's where things start to turn a little bit. Jake Locker knocked out of the game. Enter Charlie Whitehurst. But he finishes off the drive, 11-yard touchdown, another one to Kittlewright. So then a 75-yard bomb right after that. We're at 28-3. But we talked about this a little bit earlier. The big drive at the end of the half, 90-yarder drive, Jim Dre. Now we're at 28-10 going into the half.
Can you explain the importance of that last
Yeah.
end of half 2-minute? drive.
Well, you know, from it's the double up, right?
double up.
It's basically score before the half, knowing you're getting the ball coming out of halftime, and it really can be, I mean,
Swing.
a big swing. And so for us, it happened to be, I guess, a 10-point swing. But I just remember being on the sideline and looking up, and it was 28-3 midway through the second quarter, and I remember Kyle saying, like, look, we're just going to run our offense. It's too early in the game for us to just abandon like and as I said before, that offense was really based on play action, run game, all of those things. And so I think the pass to get that drive started, we ran what we would call like a blaze out. It was kind of like a speed 25-yard out with Travis Benjamin.
Okay.
Off of a hard play action pass.
Like a deep bow.
Like a deep bow. I think we tried implementing those in our offense. It just never took root. But
Because they would never we never had guys that would just open the gate.
Yes.
They would squat on the, you know what I
right.
mean? They would squat on it, so then I would cut it. We would still get open. I'd still flip his hips, but it would be a 17, 18 yard.
This was basically that route, but about another 10 yards deeper.
Yeah.
And that really, that's a chunk play right there. Got the drive going, got a few runs, if I remember correctly, few boots that I got on the edge completed. Actually, I think I hit a double move to Miles Austin.
Yeah.
That was a cool dude. I didn't see him on that roster,
Yeah,
but
he was there.
He was that was
He was old Miles Austin.
He was,
though.
but
This was after Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a monster,
Yeah,
huh?
like
I used to love watching him play.
He was good. He was a great pro, and hit him on a double move. And so getting that touchdown before half, like going into half 28-10 as opposed to 28-3, which you guys went into half at 28-3.
21-3.
21-3. Okay.
And they came and
out. That's
scored.
right. So that was huge. And then open up the second half with, like I said, a boot double move, Taylor Gabriel on our boy J-Mac.
How great was that stack by Gabriel?
He did stack him.
Like that's like the definition of how you want to stack the defender. And the stacking is putting his body in between the defender and the ball. It creates that little cushion.
Yep.
Like that was like you threw it right there. He gave you room and he stacked him. That was a fucking great throw. Like Hoy, I was so proud of watching this game. Like you were sitting in there, you took your hits.
Yep.
I mean, you were balling this time. It was so unfortunate that this was the year you tore your ACL because you had a lot of juice going, man.
Yeah. No, this was,
And that's how crazy the league is, right?
it is.
It could be taken like that.
Yeah, it goes quick. That's right. And but no, to your point, like the locker room, first of all, scoring that touchdown, you go in, people are like, okay, we're heading in the right direction. But like I said, same thing on the sideline. Kyle's like, look, we're just going to run our offense. We're going to run the run plays. We're going to run the play actions. We're going to run the boots. Now, a big factor in this game, and it's there, was the pump block. That was, you and I both know the stats on that. You block a punt in a game.
It's like 80%
Yeah,
chance
it's like
of winning.
your chance. So I think people, like the momentum kept growing. They weren't really doing anything, and we kept battling back.
Why do you guys like what?
No, it's something
The punt block.
Yeah. Well,
something just dawned on me. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you think Kyle Shanahan remembered this game on the opposite side of the field in the 28-3 game and knew that it was possible?
Yeah, it could be. And
That's why I
especially,
gave that
Is that why he was just running the offense in the back end of that game?
The shoe was on the other foot.
I mean, it could be. It could be.
See, that's what I always think with those West Coast offenses. They don't know how they can only play one way, and that's from ahead.
I agree with you.
And then once they get ahead, their 4 minute is never really like the greatest because they don't have the drop. What is it? What? Explain that.
Look, you're right. And having been in it, there's only so much time you have, right? And if your system is built off of run and play action, that's where you're going to devote the majority of your time.
Yeah.
So for instance, in like OTAs, do you think we ever in New England had run game periods? No. Everything was pass. It was 7-on-7. It was team pass. It was all of those things because that was at the core of our offense.
Yeah.
How many different protections did we have?
Like 10.
Right, 10 different protections. So you got to work all of those
Probably
things.
like 8. What do you have? 60s,
60s, 80s, 70s, 50s, 90s.
238.
Yeah, like we had a lot.
Quick.
Whereas, so I would say the West Coast system, you're going to put a lot of your emphasis in the run game because everything comes off of that. And so I think if you're playing from ahead, you're in control.
Yeah.
Now, this was obviously an outlier here because we were far behind, but for whatever reason, they kept honoring the run. And so we had a lot of great play action passes in this game. There was some drop back too. I mean, the game winning touchdown was down kind of by the red area, and they P rushed us. So that was one of the lessons. What does P mean?
P means they're dropping a defender and they got 9
But what is a
covered.
trigger for us as players?
Time.
Take patience. They're not going to get to you. And so Benjamin...
Depth and spacing.
Tom hated the P rush, right?
Hated him in the red area.
Right. Because there's so many guys back there.
That's what Ernie just said. We had Ernie on the other day. He goes, if I wanted to get under Tom, I just had to P drop him.
That's right.
Because Tom's not going to take off and run. And that's why a lot of guys don't get P anymore.
But what would he do?
He would thumb you.
You ever see any quarter...
Thumbing, they call it. So like when you see the quarterback on like a scramble drill,
Yeah.
you saw a lot of Tom, which we would practice. You would see Tom thumb you a direction, go this way. And that was telling you to peel off. And you see a lot of quarterbacks did it. I think someone did it this preseason, a young quarterback.
Really?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was
I was
something
like, he just thumbed him.
Yeah, I had never really seen that before. And it's like when you have a 3-man rush, so it's 5-on-3, those guys are really never going to get home. And that's what the Titans did on this game-winning touchdown. And Benjamin basically had a deep return route. We had a concept where he had a deep return, which like unless you have a 3-man rush, you're really not going to have the time to get to it. And so I'm going through my progression like boom, boom. There's an extra guy there. And all of a sudden he bounced back out and got free, and it was high in the back end line.
Is that a thumb?
It was just a naturally built
natural thumb.
Natural thumb, because he had that go in, sell it back out.
What happens in the moment when it's like you clearly have a play like planned with all the reads and all this stuff, and then it's like, when does that go out the window? When it's a broken play, or when coverage is last? Like, when does that switch in your brain?
It's a feel thing. I think like in this instance. And I remember you can see these things happen before the play, because the linebacker's coming up, he's tapping the D lineman, and you can hear him like, hey, you're dropped. Like, people don't realize how much stuff you hear when you're out there. Yeah. And so like I knew like, all right, there's a good chance this is going to be a 3-man rush. Take your time. Like don't zoom through your progression, because much like Tom, I'm more athletic than him. I probably wasn't going to run the football in. And there's a time where there's a natural timing of the play, and he knows it. Everybody knows it.
Quarterback clock.
Yeah, there's a clock. And then at a certain point, you're like, all right, there's nothing. I got to move on. I got to either step up and move to the right, the left. I got to do something, because as good as the lineman can be, there's only so long that they can hold up.
There's only so long. And even that clock in your head, like for the quarterback, like when they're sitting there, it's like, I'm here too long. I need to fucking eject.
Yeah, you feel it.
Like, you feel Myles Garrett coming from behind. You see fucking, Sanu or whatever, big ass D tackle coming from the front. Like there's
times too where you feel, you can feel the pocket, right? But when you wait too long, you don't know who's retracing. There's stuff that now they're behind you can't see. So it's definitely a clock, and sometimes it declares itself where you're sitting there and it opens like the Red Sea, and you're like, well, I'm gonna take that route and keep my eyes on the field to see if anybody opens up.
What was the play that stuck out the most in this game where you said we can come back?
So there was obviously I mentioned the block punt, but on offense, there was a play, I believe, fourth quarter, and we run so that's the other thing. The one thing I failed to mention, we're going to run our offense, but we're going to go no huddle. No huddle. So we did a lot of no huddle in this game. Yeah. And it was literally different than how we would do no huddle. We kind of broke it down to like 4 formations, and I'd hold up the number. Like 1 was like dolphin right, or 2 was like, spread or whatever. And everybody got lined up. Trips. And then we had our code word. So we were moving pretty quick. And I think a big part of our success was they were gassed. Yeah. We were good. We kept going. And there was a no huddle drive, and we kind of ran, we were in like 0 flood slot. So the 2 receivers were over the side, and we ran a boot, and the Y ran a corner route, and then we had like basically like double post. Yeah. And I came out, and everyone was covered, and Phillips was their defensive end. He kind of like beat me to the punch.
And then you stopped.
And I came back.
It was almost like a thumb.
Yeah, and it was. And I literally was like looking back like, oh my God, there's no one open. And you did the hop jump. And I did the hop jump and threw it. And when we ran off the field there, I was like, we got this. We just if we get another stop. And then there was one other throw when I went back and watched this that was risky as hell. And we ran like, you remember dribble, like where the slot and the outside guy would block for the tight end, like a little mini screen. Yep. We ran that, and that was for zone. And the backside was basically like D slant, a diagonal and a slant. That was for man. So they line up in zone, and I go to throw the dribble. It's like a little screen to the left. And I think our tight end got like not hammered back, so I couldn't throw it. So I
Can't go back late.
I whipped back blindly
Late.
and threw the slant like second window to Miles. I mean, it was
Oh,
probably
and then he split it.
split it. It was probably the
I saw
hardest
that.
throw I've ever thrown in a game because the window was like this.
Yeah.
And that play really kept that game-winning drive going.
And what do you need? You need two things on a game-winning drive or 2-minute drive. What are the two things?
Chunk plays, get the drive started.
There you go.
There you go.
Chunk plays,
Big
get the drive
time.
started.
I should have said it the other way, but yeah, get the drive started and get them in their 2-minute defense.
Get them
And then
started.
a few chunk plays, which really save you the time. That was the biggest thing. Like you talk about learning from Ernie and Bill, thing you don't really think about as a young player. Like yards are more, or time is more valuable than yards. So like you drop back in a 2-minute drill.
Look, Hoyer, if the guy's in the fucking flat,
Right.
there's three
Just
guys
throw it at his
around him,
feet.
just fucking throw it in the ground.
You know you're in 4-down territory anyways. Like you'd rather instead of take a 5-yard check down and lose, what would they would say like it'd be like 30 seconds you'd lose.
Yeah.
You'd rather throw it at his feet, take another play, and take a chance at a 10 to 15-yard completion.
Exactly.
To put a bow on this bad boy, Cleveland blanked him in the second half.
Yep.
A 16-point fourth quarter.
Wow.
Got him over the top. 2 touchdowns to Travis Benjamin. Man, that was sick. And the block punt we talked about. Ended up winning this thing 29-28. Took the lead with 1:09 left on that Travis Benjamin TD. Hoyer went 21 of 37 for 291 yards, 3 TDs, 1 pick, but that was more like a punt, so we're not going to count
That's
that
right.
one.
I remember that. Yeah.
And biggest comeback in Browns history, biggest comeback in NFL road history. I mean, pretty incredible.
What'd you say? You just got to believe.
You just gotta
gotta
fucking
believe. Yeah, you didn't even have Dola there to say that.
That's right. That's right.
Now, what did it feel like when you hit 0 and the fucking you got to the top?
Yeah.
What'd that feel like?
That
man?
was elation. I mean, it's funny, like going
elation. What a good word.
preparing for this. I know Michigan State education. I wanted to go back and watch it and kind of just relive it so we could talk about it. And the biggest thing I remember, like it was a blur, and of course, like you had to do the post game interview on the field, headset, like, and get back to the locker room. The whole team's waiting for you. Water bottles are. I mean, it was just one of those moments that, like, as I get further and further away from football, I'm like, that was a good moment in the career.
Nothing cures anything like winning.
No.
Damn right.
That's what they say. Winning cures anything.
Remember?
Just win, baby.
Remember when Bill would be like, look, with all due respect to like Thanksgiving or Christmas, the best thing we can do for our families is win. And it was true. It was true. It made everything better. It made the turkey taste better.
It made it all worth
Made
it.
Christmas morning better. I mean, we could sit here. Do you remember our rookie year? We had to practice on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
And
I kind of liked it though.
And-
I didn't have our family here.
this is and you, I know you had Matt Light here yesterday, so this is what made me think of this story. So Bill was like, all right, look, like I know it's Christmas. Why don't the veterans get together and decide like when you guys want to come in? So of course Matt Light like holds court, and after practice, Bill's like, what did you guys decide? And Matt's like, 11. We want to come in at 11. And Bill's like, 11? Look, I had young kids once too. They're up at 7. The presents are opened at 7:30. I'll see your asses at 9 tomorrow. like basically like ask Matt to talk to the other players, decide what time you want to come in. Matt in his like infinite wisdom was like, yeah, 11. And Bill was like, fuck that. Like, I'll see you at 9. I mean,
Fuck it.
or the Christmas story when you and I come in and Randy's sitting there talking on his phone to his mom.
Tell her they say that.
And so it was my locker, Julian's locker, Randy and Tom. And we were young. And
Young.
to your point, like, don't have kids. Like, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I'm going to go play football on Christmas with my team. Like, we were in there early. And we walk in and
I was like happy, jolly. It's Christmas
so
time.
jolly. And I think you had just come out of the training room. You're probably getting like treatment or whatever. And Randy's like talking to his mom, like, hey mom, Merry Christmas. And Julian goes, is that Mama Moss? Oh, tell her I said Merry Christmas. Like jovial, cheerful. And this is literally my recollection. Randy's like, hold on a second, mom. Hey, Julian, when I'm talking to my fucking mom, just shut the fuck up. I was like, Merry fucking Christmas.
I heard that. Yeah. I almost cried.
Dude. Yeah. I mean, we were just bleary-eyed, like so happy. I mean, for you, probably the same. Like
Yeah.
we were just, I was so elated to like be a part of like this great organization.
1000%.
And around these great players. And there's a lot of great memories.
Well, the aftermath of this,
Yep.
Johnny Manziel makes his start in week 15. Hoy tears his ACL. The Cleveland Browns snapped a 7-game losing streak, first road win since September 2013. That's a lot of good shit.
Not a bad way to snap a road losing streak.
Yeah. Seriously, I didn't even know. I don't think I even realized that because I had only been there.
It's an underrated
for
game.
2 years.
This is like one of the best. There's always a good gem of a regular season
This
game.
was a great pick by Brian. I mean, one of my favorite picks we've had
I
in
kind
a
of
while.
thought I'd throw you off and say,
This is
hey,
awesome.
the 28-3 game. And you
I was
guys
sitting
be
there like, what
"Man,
the
we've
fuck
already
is this
done
guy talking? And we already did that with like 10 different people.
Now, I will say this. When you guys threw up the stats of the Titans that year, I don't feel as good about being down 28-3.
Still 25-point
Well,
deficit.
you said they won 2 games?
22 and 14.
Yeah, I mean, shame on us for getting down the way we did. Because actually, I think we went on like a pretty big winning streak after this
You went
game.
6-3.
Yeah. and
you were
so
6-3.
This is here. You want to talk about like the pitfalls of the NFL? We go down. We're playing Cincinnati on the road on a Thursday night game. They had basically won the division, right? That was Andy
Yeah.
Dalton, AJ Green.
I heard about this game.
Yeah.
With the Hoyer chance at the end.
Yeah, and so like we're sitting there, we beat them, we whooped their ass too. Like we went in. There we go. You're gonna get to that, and we whooped their butt, and it's Thursday Night Football. So similar to you, like when you had your issue with Joe Thomas.
I didn't have an issue, but
So
Mr. Joe
I go
Thomas.
up on the stage after the Thursday Night Football game, and you know who's sitting right next to me? Deion Sanders, the kid I idolized as a kid. I had the 21 jersey, Dallas jersey, and he's up there. The fans are right there in front of you. They're chanting, Hoyer. And Deion goes, you know what the Browns need to do? Pay this man.
like, I remember that.
I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my God, this is it. Like, this is the endorsement I need from the media, because it had been like, all right, when are they going to play Johnny? Here's my idol saying, pay this man. I was benched like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know. Isn't that like, you talk about like highs of highs
and lows, bro.
and the low of lows.
The football gods will slap you down. That's
Amen.
right.
Speaking of Cincinnati, I would be remiss if I didn't mention a game that took place later on in this same day. They were on to Cincinnati game.
Oh, okay.
Fuck it. See, Hoy.
43.
You're connected in everything, Hoy.
I am.
Hoy, you are connected.
1 week after Trent Dilfer said they're dead.
They're fuck.
Brady's done.
go.
Sponsored by Roe. How do you make time for intimacy and great sex in your relationship? It's like they say, always be prepared. And when it comes to bringing the spark back in the bedroom, Rose Sparks has your back. Rose Sparks is a prescription treatment featuring a dual action formula that includes tadalafil. That's the stuff that can keep working in your system for up to 36 hours. That's 36 hours of being ready to go whenever the mood strikes. See if you qualify at ro.co/sparks. These little guys dissolve under your tongue, and once they dissolve, they work in 15 minutes on average. That means you can stop watching the clock and start, well, enjoying the moment. So if you're looking for a stronger, bigger, thicker erection, more control in bed, and better sex for both of you, it might be time to check out Rose Sparks. It all starts with a simple online visit. I mean, it couldn't be easier. Connect with the provider at ro.co/GWN, and if prescribed, you get $15 off your first order on a reoccurring plan. That's ro.co/GWN. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. For safety information, go to ro.co/safety info.
Let's name the game and score the game. Is this the greatest game of all time? Let's score it. Now, Hoy, these are some of the names that we came up with. We came up with the Music City Meltdown, the Cleveland Comeback, the other 28-3, the OG 28-3, Hoyer did it first game. Or anything
I like
else.
that one selfishly, but I'm not a selfish guy, so I don't want to put my name on it. I'm going to say the OG 28-3. Has a little rhyme to
like
it.
that.
I like that one.
It keeps it,
Plus,
young.
I like to remind you and Tom and Dola that I did it first.
Yeah.
You guys did it on a bigger stage, but I did it first.
Well, let's get into it. Let's score the game. Is this the greatest game of all time? Let's score it. Decimals encouraged, Hoy.
Okay.
They're encouraged. Stakes of this game in the regular season, The other 28-3, 0-10, 10 being you just won your 8th Super Bowl in a row.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of the league, it's probably not very high, but for us as the Browns, I would say it was, if we lose this game, I think we drop to 1-3. We had beat, I think our first game, we beat the Saints. The second game was honestly one of the best games of my career, but we lose to Joe Flacco-led Ravens. They come back and beat us.
Justin Tucker
so
game winner.
if we lose this game, we drop to 1-3. I'm probably getting benched after this game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's like a 5.2 in the stakes of the Cleveland Brown. It was important for us to win this game, especially in the fashion we did.
That does up the stakes.
You know what? I'm going with the 6.3.
Okay.
I think it was higher than that because this was I remember watching these games. I remember because Hoy was my dog. And so I'd always watch him when we were out there, see him dicing people up, throwing a Cam Jordan and shit.
Great example of that.
Not Cam Jordan.
Jordan Cameron.
I always get
Not
this.
so confused.
It
Well,
fucks me up every time.
It's fucked a lot of people up.
Well, you know the story of that,
story,
right?
Yeah, Cam told us.
They literally, the Browns called Cam Jordan in that draft and like, hey, we're drafting you. And he's like, well, I just got drafted by the Saints. Whoever Brown's gonna Brown.
Yeah.
That's a Brown
like, they
thing to
had
do.
it backwards on the card. Like, thank God they didn't submit it.
Brown's going Brown.
got-
Star power, Hoy.
Hold on,
Decimals-
Jack had 3.
I had a 3.4, a little low. Yeah.
You didn't hear my perspective.
I didn't hear the
If you had
perspective
told me how important it was to us at the time, maybe it goes up. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, this is a 2-14 team and what, a 7-9 team. That's not very.
Thanks for feeling my
I had a
pain, Hoy.
2.1 from a fan perspective,
no
not
problem.
an inside baseball.
The star power of this game, 0 to 10 decimals encouraged.
I'm gonna even go lower on this. Like, let's go 3.8.
See, I think that's a little low, Hoy. I think it's probably like a 4.9 to 5. I'm
Okay.
gonna go 5.2
Okay.
because you've got like 3 head coaches on this goddamn staff. You got
So
a bunch
you're
of
going coaches as well.
Yeah,
everyone.
everyone in the
I
building.
think I saw
Okay.
Drew Carey in the fucking
He
crowd.
might have been there. Big Cleveland guy.
Cleveland rocks.
I'll also Joe Thomas, Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Hall of
I'll
Fame.
bump it up to 4.8.
I mean, Johnny Manziel is a star.
He's a star.
But I didn't think about the coaching aspect of it.
Coaching.
There are
I mean, this football, baby, it takes a whole.
I had a 5.7. I was in the same ballpark.
3
5.1.
current NFL coaches. I was just thinking of players. My bad.
gameplay of this game, which is fucking incredible comeback.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 7.9.
7.9.
That's pretty modest.
That is.
I'm gonna go, dude. You had a blocked punt.
Yeah.
You had some big, crazy chunk plays. Unanswered. I loved this game. I think I'm gonna go with a 7.6.
Okay. Look,
We're
I'm
with a
sitting,
7.4. Jules, same building.
I had 9.1.
I'm sitting here with the guy who did it in the Super Bowl, so I'm a little self-depreciating. Like,
No, I
We've
mean
already- integrity
we've already
scores.
touched stakes. This is now just gameplay.
that's
Okay.
gameplay.
Yeah,
Got
so
it.
That's
9.1
gameplay.
for me.
okay,
Now, the name of the game, which I didn't realize that there was another one, but that is a pretty that's pretty cool. The
Yeah.
OG 28 to 3.
Little
game.
rhyme to it. I'm gonna give that an 8.9.
8.9. I'll
You know,
go.
what, can I just interject here, which is honestly the coolest thing that came from this game. So the NFL Hall of Fame, they have like a year in review display at the Hall of Fame, and because this was the largest road comeback in NFL history, my jersey and Travis Benjamin's jersey and his cleats were on display in the Hall of Fame, and I was able to drive down with my wife and kids and see that. And so although I'll never make it into the Hall of Fame as an inductee, I think you will. I think you will. And you can be modest. I really do think you deserve it. But to have that moment and have those pictures, like we were just in Cooperstown for my son's baseball tournament, and we went to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And I pulled up the picture and I showed my son, I said, "Do you remember this?" And he goes, "Kind of." I said, "Yeah, we went to go see your dad's jersey in the Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man, fucking Hoy dog.
You'll be there. I'll be there at the induction party.
Get out of here,
Yeah,
folks.
baby.
The name of the game, the
You're
OG.
coming into the Patriots Hall of Fame. That's the first step.
Hey, well, this is about you, Hoy dog. This is about you. The name of the game, the OG 28 to 3. I'm gonna go. I got a little ring jingle. I'll go with a 7.6.
Okay. Now you guys are given at
7.2.
Okay.
I had 3.1.
A little low, but I.
That's a little low.
That's
If I
low.
would have
That's
with Hoyer
low.
did it first, maybe we pump it up a
I
little
don't
bit.
get.
Amen.
I don't care about the puns or the actual name. It's like the cultural relevance. How much do I think about this game like on a
Yeah.
daily basis?
You
right?
probably hadn't thought about
think
this at all.
I think about this like the Fiesta Bowl with Oklahoma versus Boise State like every night, right? So that's high. So that's how I.
I think about the Roman Empire.
That's a
every
Roman
day.
The Roman Empire.
Yeah, that-
How about
that
the
Fiesta
new
was my
Roman
Roman
Empire
Empire.
here in Boston? Have you watched this guy play?
Who?
Roman Anthony, baseball player.
Is he
Oh,
good?
he's nice with it.
Dude, they just gave him 128 million.
Yeah, and they're saying that was a steal. That was a deal.
Oh, I mean, he's 21, so probably hadn't made a lot of coin yet.
Let's go.
Dude, he's unreal.
Dude, they were whooping on those Yankees the last couple weeks, I think.
Hey, look, it's you talk about a cool moment. Go to Fenway with your son.
Yeah.
And we were there for his first night because there was a lot of hype around this guy, and I'd say he's sufficiently lived up to that hype. So it's excited to be a Red Sox fan right now.
So this game is a 6.04.
Okay.
It's our new 100th game. It's just ahead of the 2019 Raiders versus Bears in London and just below the 2008 Week 3 preseason game.
Oh, that's the
Texans
travesty.
versus Cowboys.
I'm bringing this to our
Which
room
one was that?
Well, we did that,
That was
with
with
Dola.
Dola. When he was on the
He
Cowboys.
was on Hard
Oh,
Knocks.
okay,
Yeah.
I like it.
Hard
That's
Knocks
gonna have
star.
to be. I think that might have to be
that's-
down.
Yeah, we need the
We're gonna need
What's
to bring
the,
this.
the Raiders Bears London? Who did that?
Richie Incognito.
Okay.
They Josh Jacobs. No.
Yes.
Josh Jacobs ran for a bunch of yards and they
Okay.
were happy about
They
it.
ran all over Khalil
We had a
Mack.
London game. That was a fun night after that
We
game.
had. Oh my god! Remember that?
You already had Orenberger. You didn't tell this story.
Explain it.
I mean,
London game. 2012.
We whooped their butt.
Whooped their
So
butt.
no
almost,
curfew.
Almost got in a fight with
Yep.
the team at a bar.
Yeah. And at some point, now look, we were young, so I actually had a roommate, which I believe was Orenberger.
Yeah.
And if I remember this correctly, we were doing customs at the hotel at like 8 a.m. And Bill's like, don't miss this because once they're gone, like we're taking off. And I think Rich had been out and couldn't remember the hotel we were staying at. And he said he was in the cab just circling, like trying to find the one that looked. And he ran up at like 7:40, threw all his shit in the suitcase and made it on time. But it was like, I'm like trying to call him. And this is back like,
This is the first time we ever not had curfew all together.
right. That was a fun night.
That was a
We also
very-
had the dinosaur barbecue night where you and TB had the beer chugging contest.
Who won that?
I think Tom did.
No, he was spilled all over himself.
All right, we're gonna have to go to the review on that one.
We did that game with
that
Matt
was
Light. That was the game we did.
That was
Matt Light.
awesome. I mean, like
That was our
remember
first time seeing like the guys in real life.
Yeah.
Because we were, granted, we were fucking like slapdicks at that time in
Oh,
our
yeah.
career. So we never saw the veterans or the cool
No.
guys out. We didn't get
Nope.
the invites.
Yep.
So when we all went out as a team, it was like, man, I didn't
Dinosaur
know.
barbecue, Rochester, New York.
Tom drinking a beer?
Were the
Yeah.
coaches out then too?
Coaches
There was
were
some,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Casario was there.
Chatty O was there.
Chatty O.
Billy O was there.
Billy O was
Because they were,
there.
remember they got in a fight? Didn't they get in a fight that game? Billy O and Tommy?
No, that was the few weeks later in Washington.
Was that Washington with
No,
that was
Daquan
famous.
Underwood?
Yes. Yes. No, I think you're thinking of when Tom and Josh got in the fight in Buffalo. That was later.
Was that later?
Yeah, I mean, look, we have years of stories that we can tell, but that dinosaur barbecue one was.
But I like to, but like for those examples, when people talk about guys fighting in between the lines in the middle of battle, I
Yeah.
talk to all my employees when we get in arguments and stuff. Like when we're in between the lines, that's gonna happen. we're in fucking war. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Doesn't mean right when the game's over they don't like that happens
Right.
all the time. Guys blow up on each other after the game. Oh, my bad, bro. You know, it's just a high stress environment.
Well, that one that you're referencing, Billy O and Tom, and I think why you're thinking of Chatty O is remember, I think Billy O like took the frozen water bottle and slammed it on the ground and hit Chad like right in the ankle bone. He's like, "Fuck, Billy, that fucking hurt." And but like literally like 5 minutes later, they're like, "All right, we might have to go a 2-minute drive." Like they're sitting there. I mean, these are heated moments,
Oh, yeah.
passionate guys and
Competitive too.
competitive. And I think let's just say, thank God there's not like a true HR department in the NFL. I mean, it just couldn't exist.
No, be gone.
Yeah.
So are you like drinking with the coaches at Dinosaur Barbecue?
Yes.
Like they're just,
Yeah.
it's like this.
Oh yeah. And for young guys like us,
we
we're
never
like,
saw
we're
that.
like, what is going on?
Did you actually feel comfortable to go for it, or were you still a little
We
bit
just
like,
clinched a division.
Yeah.
We were fuck
Yeah.
fuck it.
No, everybody. Remember Welker like was late to the next
Oh my
meeting
God.
the next
And with the
morning.
slow clap?
and we were like. And he came in and he was like, and Bill's just looking at him. I mean, like, what can you really do? It's technically like
Off
the
day.
travel day, off day. Like,
Off day.
Yeah.
Bill's
it was,
like, just
it was a fun night.
Who's the best coach to drink a beer with?
Probably Billy O.
Billy O.
Yeah, I like
or
that.
Chad O'Shea, Chatty O.
Chatty O.
The
yeah.
fucking
Bryan.
Irish guys. The Irish guys.
That's right.
I'm happy to have Billy O back in town.
I am too, man. I got my fucking BC.
There you go. You're
This is
ready to
for
go.
Billy O right here, man.
We
Billy
love
O
Coach.
and Joe V, who's over
Bears.
there. Bears.
Shout out to Bears.
Friends
Shout
of the
out.
show.
man.
we got to go
I've
to
never
the-
seen Bears smile so much of now when I go over to BC.
I know.
It's incredible.
It's outrageous.
I love seeing Bears now.
I can't wait to see those two guys play. And I
Yeah.
know it's
Go to
not
that
this
game.
year. It'll
We
be
got to
next
go to
year.
that game when that happens.
We got to go to that game. Hopefully
Yeah.
they bring Bill up to over fucking Boston College. That'll get some.
You think you can get Bill on this podcast?
You know what? I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, he's got to relate to the kids now. I mean, he's got to.
I don't wanna talk about it.
With the,
Hey, yeah,
You know, hey.
Jules, that's the angle. If you want to get good recruits,
Well,
the
I
kids
mean,
are watching
there's
it here.
recruits watching this.
Yeah,
He'll go on, Indianapolis Colts guys, the podcast
Pivot.
that literally tried to burn him. He'll go on to Steeler guys podcast. Literally never beat us.
Hey.
He'll go on to other people's podcasts, but he won't come on to the guy who he literally drafted and was probably one of his only good receivers that he drafted.
Thank God
Deion
you-
Branch. Deion Branch was fired.
Thank God you took all those team-friendly deals, brother.
That's right. That's why he kept you around. I could
paying
have
off
had you
now.
If I could have got the Browns to go up 100K, you would have been a part of this game.
Would have been in this.
And I don't want to pour salt in the wound, but I appreciate you having me on. I mean, I know Tom hasn't come on, but you had to go to the backup.
Got to go to the backup first.
I mean, that's what I'm here for.
Tom and Bill can't get anyone on this goddamn thing.
I think you just keep pressing on them, keep posting those photos.
Yeah, I know. Tom will go on other people's potties and,
it's good for the lore at this point.
It
it's
is.
good.
Yeah.
It is
Hey,
what it
hoisted
is.
the bar pretty high. They got to top that. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, but this was a great fucking game. This was these were some amazing stories to go over, Brian. Did we miss anything from this game?
No, I don't think so. We covered it. I was more excited to reminisce with you because, as I said, I'm listening to Teddy K on here. I'm listening to Orenberger, Slater, Billy O, Bears. I mean,
Ernie.
the stories to hear them and to let people in on kind of like the inside.
The fun that we had. Everyone
my
thinks we
God.
didn't have fun.
No, we had a lot of fun.
I thought winning was fun.
Winning is fun.
You remember that?
Trust me, I
Were
was
you
on
there
a
when
lot of losing teams too, dude.
Remember that whiteboard?
Yeah.
Were you there when I put that on there?
Yeah, I think I was. Winning is fun.
Winning is fun.
It makes your whole life fun. It may suck during the week. I'm not going to lie to you. Those were.
It was,
you didn't want to be put on the low lights. You didn't want to fuck up.
No.
But Sunday afternoons were always pretty good.
Made me a better man.
100%.
And it made me feel the real world. That's how the real world is.
That's right.
If you don't fucking work, you ain't getting shit. If you feel sorry for yourself, people will move on from you.
And I'll say this from my perspective, having started here, leaving, coming back, there's never a closer team than any of the teams that I was with the Patriots because I think we all went through it together.
Yeah.
We all knew at any moment you could get called out, and it brought everybody closer together. I think that was Bill's superpower was.
And I think that's why he did that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because he wanted to be everyone against him.
Right.
So it makes you guys all congregate to all right. But that's the power, man. This was fun. Everyone go out and check out the Quick Snap podcast now on NBC Sports. What day?
We're working our way up. It's going to be on Wednesday nights. I think at 6 they'll air it, but it'll also be on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, all of those things too. So we're working our
XM
way.
Radio, NFL Radio.
I do Sirius XM on Thursday mornings with Solomon Wilcots, and then do a few in-house Patriots things. I get to hang out with Zoe and Bob Sochi on Tuesday.
Love Zoe.
You've been
Yeah.
killing it. I saw you do what was it, a preseason game? You
Yeah.
did some stuff with Tom.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm sure I was waiting for you to knock me on our outfit choice because it was the only thing. And this
was it
is,
the same outfit?
dude? I just want
Was
to
it
give.
the same? I didn't even know.
It was very.
Was
similar.
it the same outfit?
And this is all I want to say is
you get-
I was in Cooperstown, New York, coaching Garrett's baseball team, and
And then you flew up to New York to Soho to go get the same outfit as Tom.
He played Friday morning. The game ended. We drove from Cooperstown to home, showered, and I called my wife and I said, "Put out this outfit for me. I wore it last weekend to this event. It's like these khaki jeans and a navy blue like dress polo and my white sneakers." And I'm sitting there waiting for him to come out for this ceremony.
Yeah.
And he walks out and he's got the same outfit on. And I'm like, this is just, I know I'm never going to hear the end of this, especially, there it is. He was long sleeve, thank God, but the jeans were the same. I think they were the same sneakers.
Where's Tom's chest hair?
I don't know, but
Is he a chain guy now? Is he always been a
chain
chain
guy
guy?
one of the greatest memes I saw after this was, you guys watch Righteous Gemstones?
Yes.
Uncle Baby Billy. There it is. I saw.
I mean, Tom just needs to dye his hair white for Halloween, and he's got the outfit down.
I like the glasses.
Yeah, they were
Is it-
transition lenses, I think.
Yeah, it's the new thing I've been seeing him
When
do.
you get close to 50, you got to wear the transitions.
Dude, does he actually? No, he does. Tom Brady does not need
Those
glasses.
were the same glasses he wore coming out, and they were full on sunglasses. And then here we are at night under the lights, and they transitioned a little bit. They were like the see-through, like Elvis glasses.
Man.
Shit, when you're cool, it's always sunny, buddy.
know.
When you're cool, it's always sunny.
That is true.
B Hoy, thanks, bro. I appreciate
Thank you,
man. I love
Been
you,
waiting
bro.
for this. Love you too, dude.
Man, Hoy dog. That was an awesome game to go over. I didn't even know that game existed. I forgot.
Great
but I
game.
remember Hoy.
Great pick.
He was balling that year, low key.
He really was. He looked great in that. Go back and watch. They got the full game on YouTube.
Yeah, he looked pretty
Go
good.
back and watch
He
that
was one of
thing.
those guys you always wish he got a full shot.
Never
You
got
know?
a full shot, and that's because he was undrafted.
Yeah.
You got to like light it up right away for you to get a full shot.
Purdy. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Purdy, he did. That's exactly what he did.
I could just tell
Well, I
from,
guess last drafted, but
from our 90 minutes here together with Hoy, great locker room guy.
Great locker room
I could
guy.
just tell.
Yeah, Hoy. When I said the backup QB has a lot of different hats, he wore a lot of different hats for a lot of different guys.
And not because he's bald.
Not because he's bald, but I love Hoy to death. We had so much time together, like he was saying in those early years, just studying. Well, wow, it's time for the Chill Zone, brought to you by Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/GWN and celebrate responsibly.
Before we get into this, I love that Kyler made the Kyle Shanahan mention during that.
like my brain, like
That was a great mention.
Oh, glad that you like caught me because like you know that meme where the guys like,
Yes.
that just clicked.
Forrest Gump of 28-3.
With all like the
Yeah.
stuff going.
Can I say one more thing about Hoyer before we go? I love when a guest comes on who's like familiar with the show.
Yeah.
And like picks a great game, gets the beats,
Integrity
gets the
score.
rhythm. Yeah. Honestly, it was too low. Should have been higher.
I know,
But
but he didn't want to go too far. He didn't want to pump his tires.
He knew what's up. He knew the vibe.
He knew the vibe. All right, we're going to pull back the curtain on interacting with opponents in the National Football League.
When you've talked in some past episodes, Jules, about battling with different cornerbacks and safeties, linebackers, any guys on other teams, we've gotten comments of kind of what that's like before, after games, during games, not just the trash talk, but like, what is it like interacting with opponents that you don't know, guys you do know, maybe you went to college with, maybe you trained together at Exos or somewhere.
former teammates on the current team.
Former teammates on the current team you're on. How does that go down before, after games? Are you talking to each other during the week? The classic jersey swaps that we all see. Just kind of how does that go down in the NFL? What's the protocol? What is the way that you did it? And just kind of that whole world.
Yeah, our coach used to always say, if you don't be having a team meeting before the game with other guys,
Team
like
meeting.
we're gonna be playing these guys, none of this. Like say hi and then move on. Like I took that. I listened to my coach.
So that
I
came
listened to him.
That came down from Bill. That wasn't
came
just kind
from-
of like
yeah.
a culture thing. So you,
But there would be guys that would, see other guys that they went to school with or other old teams that they played with, and they would do that. But I was never like that. I played with the Pats the whole time. I was very into myself. I mean, McAfee's talked about it where he tries to talk to all the punt returners. He tried to talk. I didn't want to talk to him. I was playing mind games. I was visualizing that I was like going to run a punt down your fucking throat, or I was visualizing and thinking up horrific things about other players that I had to go compete against, because that's what we're about to do. So shit talking, yeah, there was shit talking, and that was done. I used to do business as business being done. If a guy was going to come in and start talking and I didn't know him, then I was going to talk to him all game and I was going to abuse him. If he was a little weak and I knew it got under like weak mentally, you could just sniff that from a younger player or, a guy that is getting, I don't know. I felt like I would get into guys. If it was a guy that was their vocal guy, who was an enforcer type guy that used to hit, I would get up and I would let them know that it didn't hurt. That was one of my things that I always like tried to do. If I got bamboozled, I would get up and scream at them and say something like, "That's all you got, bro?" Because I felt like that was more deflating, and at the time, I'm fucking banged up, like, oh shit. But like, I would always try to make a point to let them know it didn't hurt me.
did anyone ever get under your skin?
What is his name? Me and what's his name got in a fight. The safety from the Dolphins.
Not me.
No, we used to, Bobby Kane. Bobby,
I think we talked about this on an episode.
Bobby,
Yeah.
What is his name? 2016.
Bobby McCain.
Bobby McCain. Me and Bobby, and that was because we played each other so much.
You can build up the history.
Build up. He was a competitive player. He was a scrappy player. I think I got a penalty for we were talking shit and I headbutted him and got a 15-yarder. It all depends on the guys for both situations, like with your interaction before or after.
DB is not one of those positions that usually talks much trash, which is
Now, for someone like you're like close with, like let's say like you were friends with Dola before he came on the team, and you guys played against each other in London against the Rams.
Yeah.
Like, are you texting it all beforehand, or is it usually
No,
like,
I wouldn't. I was like,
you're zoned in?
yeah, I didn't like that either.
Is there a world where like a guy you say Dola's in town? Would you guys go out to eat the night before or hang out the night before? Like, is that ever a world or is that just fantasy land?
No, that happens, I think, with older veteran type players that maybe a guy they played with, that kind of stuff. I'm sure a lot of guys do that. I didn't do that.
I feel you. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. But maybe, I don't know. Like after the game, different.
So what's
After the game,
Yeah.
that's when, hey man, it was good. No hard feelings. Oh, see you, in the off season potentially in the Exos. There would be a couple guys I used to train with. But, when we were going against each other, like it was like it almost enhided me wanting to beat the shit out of them because I knew them. And so I could talk shit to them afterwards.
I feel like in this realm, in this conversation we're having, we throw around the term kiki a lot.
A lot of kikiing.
Can you explain that to the folks?
Slate dog. Yeah, kikiing is when you're over there and you're talking with the boys. Oh, kiki, ha ha, hee hee. Slate used to throw that around a lot. He'd be like, yeah, don't be kikiing with them over there.
In hockey, they call that tummy sticks.
Tummy sticks.
You meet at the red line.
Yeah.
And you got like your stick in their tummies. It's
Yeah,
tummy sticks.
no tummy sticking.
No buddy,
over here.
no kiki, no tummy
But I
sticks.
think it's
like that.
changed. Like when I first, like I just remember playing against the Jets and Bart Scott literally went up to like 2 inches from Billy O's face and like said, "You're something crazy."
Player on coach.
Like that's how it really, like it's kind of gone in a different way. And I think that's because we're all a lot more connected with social media.
You guys
And we've
can
been
shoot a
seeing,
DM.
and we could shoot a DM. Like it's not, this generation's fault. It's just literally like we know guys since these kids know each other and heard of each other's name and been competing against each other since they were like 13 at a 7-on-7
camps,
QB camp or a receiver of this.
Recruiting visits, the whole
AAU
thing.
basketball,
Yeah.
these, you know what I mean? There's just so much crossover with guys now where there wasn't that when we were kids.
No, that's true.
You know, like
You think that's made the game less competitive?
who?
That kind of relationship that players have early
No, I
on?
think people are going to always compete because there's that camaraderie of wanting to beat your brother up. You know what I mean? You want to, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be your bro. You know what I mean? Your boy.
I'm with you. And then that brings us to sort of the piece de resistance, if you will, of this world of interacting with players, the jersey swap.
Yeah. We weren't allowed to do it. Our coach wouldn't let us.
Really?
We couldn't give, bless you.
Let's go.
We weren't allowed to give our game jersey. We could send a jersey,
Okay.
but we weren't allowed to give the game jersey because it was a lot of logistics for the equipment staff that has this I think you have like 2 or 3 of them for the year where they're custom fit to your body. And they didn't, it's like, I don't know.
pain in the
We
ass
weren't supposed to. So like, if anyone want to do jersey swap, we would be like, all right, we'll send you one. Our coach doesn't want us to give our ones off our back, which they weren't free.
Right.
We had to pay for them as well. They're like $500.
Oh, wow.
$500,
Yeah, or whatever they were. Nothing was free in the National Football League.
Now, let's say you mentioned before in an episode talking about Antonio Gates, but were there moments when you're younger and like you just played against or competed against someone you looked up to? Like, what does that look like to go up to talk to?
I remember seeing
talk to him.
Nah, but I remember like seeing Peyton Manning for the first time. After we competed against him in 2009 and we lost to him. You early in your career, when you saw like the veteran type players that were stars, you'd be like, oh man. Like, or when I saw Antonio Gates, we passed through each other in the hallway, and that was like, it was like, oh, what's up? I think it was after the game.
Had his shades on, looking cool.
Had his shades on at night, looking sweet with a black sweater, big ass chain.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
How about the shoe being on the other foot? Did some of the young bucks come up to you?
Yeah.
When you were
at
the
the
vet?
end, a lot of guys, That's when you know you get old, is when, you know, a guy tackles you and goes, man, I used to watch you when I was a kid. You know, or, you know, stuff like that. The older you get, you hear that a little more.
I feel that.
But it's like, that always kind of made me happy. It means he was watching.
No, I was just going to say, I love that.
I got two more. One is still on the jersey swap. Hypothetically, there is a player that you've competed against where you could swap a jersey. Is there someone that comes to mind that you'd want to have their jersey? Or a game or a moment?
Or them have yours.
Off the rip of my head, Steve Smith.
Smitty.
Yeah, I loved how Steve Smith played. I loved that. And he was a baller. You know, I loved watching him play.
He was
Electric.
fun. He's like that perfect balance of like brash, but also you knew that he was doing the work.
Oh, yeah.
He was
Yeah.
doing
Back
the
it up.
mental work, the physical. He was
Yeah.
doing all the work, but he had that like diva kind of. But he had the both thing.
I'll admit, I was also a little scared of him when he came in the nut house.
It keeps you on your nerves.
I was on my P's and Q's.
Keeps you on your
Last
toes.
We see as fans, you know, the interactions that are happening on the field. Are there any more conversations, interactions happening, you know, in the stadium after the game?
Sometimes you'll see, you know, like when you're packed up, you're on the road and you go in, you shower, you change, you do media. Well, the other team's doing that too. And a lot of times you guys will share the same tunnel. They'll be going to their cars. We'll be going to the buses. So you'll see a guy here and there, or a lot of the times you see coaches. You'll see that are in the box that they don't get to come down. You know, you see a DC or a special team coordinator, and you know, hey, how you doing? Oh, that was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I bet the coaching relationships are even more incestuous because they're around the football for longer than players. You know?
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
But there is some interaction. I mean, there's that story. I remember Tom after that AFC championship. I was walking to go do some media stuff, and I saw him go over and because the media was near their locker room, I think, or something. And I saw, you know, Tommy went over and talked to Patrick Mahomes after that game.
That's cool.
I think that's been documented though, that people have talked about that.
That's so cool.
You know, so I'm sure Tom did it a lot, probably. You know, it's also different with that quarterback relationship.
Get off the field, do it a little bit more personal.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I remember seeing that. And you see guys, a lot of guys would do that, like behind the scenes, the key stuff. So,
And I thought even in retirement, the relationship that you and AJ Brown had was pretty cool too.
oh yeah, I mean, we had a connection because I remember Vrabel or Brian
Tennessee.
Bell at Tennessee had me talk to him early on. I found out Vrabel tried to trade for me after the 18 season.
Really?
Whoa.
What'd you find out?
That Bill said no.
Wow.
To the podcast? Coming on the podcast?
Huh?
He said no to coming on the podcast?
Oh yeah, that
to
too.
trading you. I'm sorry.
Or not Bill. I mean,
Man, my man on Broadway down in Nashville, I could see that.
I know. I would have fell apart though.
Get you a truck, some boots.
It's not too late to play for Vrabel. I'm just saying.
It's a little too late, but
Awesome. Great segment.
That's
This
a
is
great nugget.
Great questions from comments. Keep them up. Any more follow-ups, drop them in there. We'll
old coaches from like old. I would always say hi to those guys. Like coaches, like Balby Babbage, the DC for the Bears. I had him at Kent. I always like to see the guys that were. I remember grinding, and they were like, you know, or Dean Pease when he was with the Ravens. You know, he was the head coach at Kent. I would always see like my Kent guys. I mean, there just wasn't many of them. So I couldn't be kikiing like the Alabama guys or the other
Florida
guys.
yeah.
So you should probably ask those guys.
Man,
Awesome.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Good segment.
Good segment.
More questions in the comments. These are
Keep them
great.
coming, baby.
And that was the Chill Zone. Thanks to our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/GWN and celebrate responsibly. What a game. Thanks again to Brian. That's been another episode of Games with Names presented by Dunkin. Thanks
Hell of
again.
a week
Huh?
at Dunkin House. Hell of a week at Dunkin House.
Hell of a week. A lot of work, a lot of donuts, a lot of coffee, a lot of fun, a lot of love. Thanks again to Dunkin. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Comment a game you want us to do. And remember,
Rate and review.
and leave us 5-star review on Spotify while you're there. Remember to follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat. Leave a comment on the YouTube full episodes or read the best ones on our future episodes. Leave a message on the hotline. That's 424-291-2290. We'll see you guys next week. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.